Hello, I'm Eagle Gardens 1 on Instagram, and this is fucking talking shit with Eagle, episode 323.5. The wormhole. Hopefully, you guys have refilled your drinks, your trays, stretch those legs, use the restroom, and are ready to have some fun for a few more hours. Possibly, if you're a past guest, jump in and hang out for a while. Hopefully, some great people will come hang out tonight. You never know. You never know who's hanging out in the world. Guess I better start chat just in case somebody besides myself does shows up for this thing. Oh yeah, I guess you know what I do need to do is I need to start playing that song just like everybody said yesterday, and just let it play there in the beginning till things start getting warmed up.
Mr. Eagle. What's up, bud?
What's up, Bingus? How you doing, man?
Doing good? Thought I'd drop in
Glad
for
to
my
have you.
respects. You know,
Appreciate it.
another great show.
Oh, great dude, man. That
Yes,
is a
indeed.
great dude. Someone told me that it was going to be a good flow. Just a gut instinct on that one that it was going to be a good
But
flow.
you've done enough to where you can kind of feel it now, right?
Starting to think so. Starting to think so.
Like
I
getting those
I
miters in
can't
your
even
sleep.
believe it. I can't even believe it myself when I say them numbers anymore. You know, like like tonight, I had to even stop and let it sink in for a second. 323 videos. It's hard to doesn't
That's
even seem.
dude, that's pretty big. That really
It
shows
seems.
consistency.
Yeah, it does. I think that's what I want to really contribute a lot of the show's early success to consistency, making that mark every night, and having that be something that people could depend on. I think really set me apart from a lot of other projects people had that going on. I think that had a lot to do with it, to be super honest.
Yes. Uh, what's the main thing that we're lacking in the world today is consistency. I mean, there's no, I don't know. I mean, I don't see very much of it anyway. I may be wrong. Accountability and responsibility. I wish it would make a comeback. I'm hoping that it will. I know that things can change. But yeah, I think that's indicative of what people want. And when you give people that, they gravitate towards it. At least I do. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm
And
right next to you. You know what I mean?
you
Because
know what's
like,
funny, Bingus, is that is one of the things that in the beginning I was, like I said, I really contributed that to building the show. And as of late, I feel bad because that's one of the biggest things that I've been neglecting lately is that fucking I'm gonna be here at X time. Usually it was like 11:30. If it wasn't 11:30, I was gonna be here at 12 o'clock, and then as time went on, 12 o'clock got to be like one, and now man, it's almost like if I ain't got a guess now, it's almost like 2 o'clock before I'm coming on. And in my opinion, that shit's unexcusable, really. You know what I mean? I got people kind of used to this that regimen, and now I don't even fucking show up for it. I think it's kind of half-ass on my
hey,
part.
You know, you don't always come across the finish line and break the tape. Sometimes you walk across, but you cross. See what I mean? And that's what counts, dude. It's like, I'll guarantee you, many people, much like myself, started doing this. Eagle's probably going to come on here pretty soon, so they start switching over now. So they'll go hang out some of the other places for a while, and then okay, he's going to come on, and then they start going, is he going to come on? So they start getting worried, and dude, that's a good thing, because that means they fucking care. And then, boom, he makes him go, yeah, I knew he'd fucking make it, dude. I'm telling you, dude. You see what I'm saying? So as long as you cross that line, and even if you don't sometimes, and there's a good explanation of why, which usually is pretty spicy, so for good content. What's up, redpill?
Howdy.
What's up, Johnny Can of Seed? I see you all in the chat room. Hello. Another great episode. I'm up here saying hi to you. Hello.
I was thinking it's too bad we all can't wormhole from inside a sweat lodge, huh?
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah. Get some good, definitely would get some interesting conversation out of that. That's for sure.
Boy, I just a rush of thoughts moved through. Kinder Grows, what's up? Right on, Kinder Grows.
Some of the best conversations I have had, and this goes to say, something about medicine. I'm going to say medicine. I don't like any. I'm struggling for a good term here, so I'm just going to use medicine. What good can come about it versus the negative stereotypes that come across with a lot of these drugs. I'm not going to lie. I'm not even going to lie. Tonight, perfect example. I knew tonight was going to be a good conversation. I kind of had already had that feeling like I could or have already connected with that gentleman. So I actually chose to microdose before the show. And you wouldn't believe how many, and that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? When you think of, mushrooms and such, you think of, crazy wild experiences, maybe even uncontrollable laughter or whatnot like that. But it's very possible. And a lot of people use psychedelic drugs for intellectual purposes. And I'm telling you right now, some of the best conversations I've had been on psilocybin, both cases. And they've been just some of the best conversations, intellectual conversations I've ever had, mind stimulating conversations I've ever had.
I got some capsules on the way right now, and seriously, that's funny you said that. I've been doing a lot of research there. Again, it's something new to learn, and microdosing has extreme benefits. With the neurofuron that is that's the chemical in our brain that actually allows us to think. When you strengthen that connection, you strengthen the connection to everything. So yeah, I'm on board there. I'm like wishing I had my microdose right now. I just know that it's going to help. So I'm on board. I'm doing.
And I have 2 mushroom kits here, Bingus, and somebody was nice enough to send me spores with the first kit, and I've been looking for freaking 3 days now for them fucking spores, and I can't find them to get them going. I put them up somewhere in a safe spot, but that safe spot was obviously too damn safe for my own good.
I hide shit from myself all the time, brother. Don't worry, you'll find it. Good hit there, Red Pill.
Thank you. It was a good adjustment. Yeah. I had as far as it was told to me, I wasn't there to have an analysis like someone with maybe a good recognition for all the different species. But I had someone give me what they called the Mazatec, same variety, the shamanistic Mazatec tribe that's down in Oaxaca, Mexico. And a lot of times, yeah, it is a very chill experience, but that one, for whatever reason, had a open eye, closed eye, visuals, auditory hallucinations, paralysis. It was one of those ones where you have the feeling of whenever you think you fucked yourself you fucked yourself up, or that you might have died. And I came to the point where it's like, I could let go right now, but it would be irresponsible to my friend, because then he'd have to deal with explaining to, my fucking mom or whatever, what happened. But then I came around to it, and the UFO sound that I thought I heard that was taking me up just happened to be the fan of the Xbox playing in the background.
Cool. Yeah, man.
I've had a few of those experiences where I've thought to myself, is it always going to be like this? That's the worst thing you can do to yourself during a psychedelic experience. Fuck, I'm fucked up. Is it always going to be like this? Have I gone too far? That's why I kind of like to stick to the psilocybin, to be honest with you. Because I know I'm in that safe realm. You know what I mean? That if I kind of went too far, I'm just going to kind of excrete it one way or another, and I'm just going to have to ride it out. But, some of the, you can play with fire with acid, or LSD, that's for sure, and never come back. So that's kind of why I choose the mushrooms versus the LSD, that's for sure. Mescaline has its capabilities too, though, as far as, the actual visuals and going a little deeper into the rooms. So there's something for each one. It's just a matter of how clean the source is, I guess.
The capsules I have coming are 100 milligrams psilocybin and 400 milligrams, I guess maybe micrograms of lion's mane combination. So I've heard that that's really good for my neck issues. I'm like camping out at the mailbox, kind of like, come on, let's go. So I'm on board with that, though. I think it's the next step for this guy. Harley Drawers can help me out. What's up, Harley? I see him in the chat room. He kind of got me in the direction of the lion's mane. Said some good experiences. So yeah, thanks for the info, brother. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Coming down off some apes as we speak. Good. Yeah. Anyway, you can smoke some weed.
Sometimes they do come on a little bit strong. The other night, man, I've got some tincture as well. And yeah. And I actually went for that the other night. I'm like, this is a little quicker. I'll go this route. And I held that shit under my tongue as fucking long as I could keep it under there. And it hit quick. And it was a pretty intense first part of the journey there. And it was the other night. It was just a couple nights ago. And Green 13 and everybody was on. And there's like 420 and everybody, a couple people started bailing, and I'm thinking, no, you guys can't go. In the back of my head, I'm thinking, you guys can't go. I'm not ready to do shout outs, to do this by myself. And luckily the conversation went for like another half hour, 45 minutes. I'm like, yes, I'm finally in a good place to where I can do the shout outs. But if everybody would have checked out like right at that 420,
Dropping
I
out.
would have had to go. I would have had to go right behind them because there's no way I could have held it together for the shout
They're
outs.
dropping out as we're peaking.
Hell, I remember one time I was like, I was in pretty deep on one of the episodes of the Michigan Bros Grow Show, and I do the whole episode, and it's time for us to do our shout outs, you know what I mean, our sign offs and shit. And I made it all through the show. I did just fine, but there was something about, I couldn't do it, man. I'm watching everybody do their shit, and it's coming around to me, and man, all I seen was like a freight train in that camera. I was like, I can't do it. Fucking click. And they're like, well, I guess Eagle's out of here. I guess he's had enough for the week. And I'm like, I'm sitting there still watching. I'm like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
I couldn't even imagine that. We used to think that about school. I remember like one of the first or second times that we did mushrooms, and we were, like you said, at such a chill state, the good type of effect you get from that. We're like, hey, this is nothing. We could go to school like this. And then I started thinking around like, and then it made me think of that, what you just said, exactly what it'd be. You'd probably run out of there screaming.
Definitely.
Red Pill, can you see the chat?
No, I can't. Sorry.
Somebody was asking. Spiky. No, he can't see the chat.
Nope. Oh, there wasn't a question. Just asking if I can see the chat.
Okay.
Well, ever since you popped in, they were like, nice to see you.
Oh,
nice
okay.
to see you again.
Yeah, it's good to see everyone in the chat. I'm glad everyone's here, and I'm glad I'm here. If I could see the chat, I'd would have caught that. So thank you for letting me know.
There actually is a way, if you don't like looking at us, you can still see chat. You can minimize it and like bring up the YouTube and watch chat. If you don't like looking at us, if you want to see the chat, either or.
I'll experiment.
You guys are all on phones. I have a nice computer screen here where I overlay the Zoom in the chat, so it's YouTube's right behind it. So.
Oh no, Bingus! I'm not on no phone. I'm a spoiled bitch over here.
Right,
I've got it set up, man. I've actually got four screens, actually 2 TV screens, 240s sitting here, and then 2 screens below that, and then my mic and a hardwired camera and all that good shit. I'm set up to.
I should.
Yeah. I can actually read chat with my blind ass from across the room with on the big screen. I actually will like even click it up sometimes so I can see it without my contacts and on there. Just like click. Okay, I can read that. All right, I'm good.
Lucky Mike says he really felt your story, Red Pill. So
yeah, thank you. I'm glad that I got that kind of response. It's I've Bingus, we've hung out on Hangouts a lot of times, and I never did it in a format where I went into detail about my past and like that. It was always like a just open chat where anything that was a topic of discussion just got talked about. No one was ever like, hey, tell us your whole life story, that kind of thing. So it was very weird because that's the first time I sort of did that to anyone that really already didn't know, like my family or any friends that I knew since I was a kid.
Yeah, it's it resonated, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're pure of heart and you give it out that way, dude, there's so many people that how do I say this? We're not as alone as we think we are at times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been through a lot of arrests. People go, geez, I can't believe that you've been arrested twice. Well, yeah, but see, I have a lot of issues. I had really bad post-traumatic stress, which means you make bad fucking choices, right? You trust the wrong people. You know, that's my biggest problem is I really like humans. And so I trust them and then I get fucked. And it's usually more, it's a repeating lesson throughout life,
What I was thinking of your episode tonight, Eagle, and a word that got frequently said was ripple. The effect of the ripple, and that's really why I got so excited to start out reaching out to people again and just being more social, is because I was listening to other people's stories, and it's like it really, other people's stories resonated with mine, and then it's so much to the fact where it has the same ripple effect, subsequently, which I'm glad to be a part of. I'm grateful to be a part of.
That it's not only that, but it's what we were talking about too, Red Pill, with mushrooms, strengthening neurofuron, which strengthens your connection to everything. And I really, dude, there's nothing happens, in my opinion, by chance. You know what I mean? There's a definite thread that goes, theme, I call it, that we're playing within. So, and gratitude, me too, man. I'm very grateful. I got it. If you could, I'll be right back.
Man, for those of you guys in chat that were in the last show, I would scroll back at chat there at the end of the show there, man. I'm sorry for all you guys that, tagged me and had a question or a comment there that I missed. But conversation got pretty good towards the end there. It was a little hard to keep up on on chat and the conversation. So if I missed your comment, I'm completely sorry.
That's a whole nother thing, what he was talking about, how in his particular situation, how he was exposed to, I'm at a loss for vocabulary too, so I won't even know a whole word to classify. What he was explaining is there's all different kinds of people and cultures that have the same way of accessing whatever realm we try to get to and get some kind of download of information with. And it's literally, it's everything to, like he said, occult practices, to getting there with a drug, through breathing techniques, maybe through sleep paralysis, other type techniques, but it's all a very weird ability, or effect of whatever's going on. So I really like that part of it. That was one of my favorite parts of the episode.
Cheers, Smiley. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, brother? How you guys doing?
I'm fine.
Good, man.
Good to see you, Smiley.
Saturday night, party it out.
Fucking A, man. It's rock and roll.
Work, ready to rock, man.
No, I wish I had strong lungs. I take dinky dabs. They call me Dink Dabbersley.
We'll keep that in mind, Dinky Dab.
I was watching your stream earlier, bingus, and
the clown
it's fun
show
to watch. it's fun to watch other people stream because I actually helps me get my grammar correct with like some of these names. And I've been struggling. I've been struggling with Zippy Pinhead. I'm still struggling with it. Pinhead. Oh God. Go for it. There you go. There's the Olo on the back of it.
Zippy's a great guy. He's a good friend of mine. We chat online all the time. Very knowledgeable cat. Old schooler. Calls me crazy, which I get irritated with because he's older than me. We talked earlier today. He goes, "Hey, dude, I don't like you ousting me." I go, "What do you mean ousting me?" He goes, "People aren't supposed to know that I'm older than you." I'm like, so, you know, we have old men conversations.
Well, it's funny though. If you go back, well, I'm sure he doesn't. Well, maybe he does. I don't know. Watch the show every night to like the shout outs. Either you watch them or you don't. But if you watch the show and you've communicated positively in chat, is usually how you've made the list. 9 times out of 10, that's how you've made the list. Okay, and so Zippy's made the list. He's been on the show.
Make the list, Eagle. I'm just saying.
There he is.
Yeah, it's not.
I knew he'd show up. There he is. Bite me, baby.
He's made the list, and I've struggled on the name ever since he's been on there. And if you were to go back and watch some of these shout out lists, I've actually gave up a couple of nights on his name. I'm like, all right, from now on, it's just gonna be Zippy. It's gonna be Zippy until I can figure this shit out. But Zippy, you have been in the shout out list.
Pinhead Olio? Is that what got you confused?
Pinhead-olio.
Yeah, Pinhead Olio. It's like cornholio from.
I get tongue tied right at the oleo part, man. I don't know what it is, man. It's just too much. It's too much.
Yeah, practice your Beavis impersonation. I am cornholio.
He's a character, that guy.
Dude, those are good cartoons, man. That's some funny shit right there.
Yeah.
Do you remember the where the Simpsons started? Tracy Ullman show. Do you remember that show? The Simpsons was a fucking little skit in that show, man.
Yeah, you know what's funny is you brought up the other is Beavis and Butthead. The kids, I walked through the living room. I think it was yesterday. We're watching Beavis and Butthead Do America, and they were like halfway through it. They're like, "Do we have finished watching this?" I'm like, "This shit's good," and it was right to the part where it was like the original introduction to Hank Hill. And it was Hank and it, which looks nothing like Hank Hill, but it's the voice, and it was him and her. I'm like, that's the original. They know who Hank Hill. No, that's Hank Hill. I'm like, yeah, that's. And they're like, oh no way, but it's same. They didn't give two shits about the Beavis and Butthead or nothing.
Okay, I got a theory on that.
Henry Hill.
I have a theory on that, and I have a theory that the Beavis and Butthead takes place in a different timeline, where you're seeing Hank Hill as a senior, older than he was on King of the Hill.
Oh, like he's retired from propane.
Mm-hmm.
It could be. So King of the Hill is like a prequel. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. They went back.
Yeah, the Beavis and Butthead was way before King of the Hill. Shit, man, that was MTV original shit right there.
For those of you asked, that Hardy Gear is Alex's IG. If you look up Hardy Gear on Instagram, that's his account.
Hardy. I missed that one. It didn't pop up, man. I just got home and I was looking and seeing you were live, and then I don't know why, but it showed up that you already did the video with it. I was like, oh fuck, I gotta go back and watch that.
I know why. I know why. I'm fucking YouTube is like just like parents. If you're doing good, they'll let you be as good as you want to be. But if you be bad, there's prices to pay. And last night, I knew it was coming by playing that audio over so well over top of the video. It's nice, but boy, they hit me with fucking every copyright they could hit me with because it was so crisp and clean without me talking, really talking over it. Yeah, they were like, okay, this one. I was surprised the video even played anywhere this morning. I got a list of it. It was funny. It was like a whole bunch of like oddball countries. And I'm thinking to myself, why would the record companies block out just those countries? You know what I mean? When it was like Stone Temple Pilots and a bunch of, other music we listen to. And I don't think like they're listening to both the show and Stone Temple Pilots and like Paraguay. You know what I mean? It had me blocked from like everywhere that don't watch. I was like, ain't nobody watching from there anyway.
Mongolia.
Yeah,
I had that with an IG thing. I did a music. It was Eminem. I tagged some Eminem song to one of my stories on IG, and it popped up red right away, and it said some countries won't be able to see this or whatever. It was something similar, and I was like, I don't fucking care. Like, whatever, if they can't see it, I don't know.
I mean, we can't even say sorry that they can't see it because they can't see us right now.
Right? Yeah, it's like, I don't know.
That's funny. Yeah, they can be a little silly. But what I was getting at, Smiley, is because I got the copyrights, I'm sure because of the copyrights, because they gave me the copyrights, I broke the rules. They probably took me down in the algorithm. They probably knocked me back and probably took away some of my notifications. I've noticed that's how it works. If I get flagged, they usually fucking kick you back.
Yeah. Hey, Eagle, to change the subject here, you've gotten a couple different mushroom growing kits now. You can get to see some spawning mushrooms here or what?
Yeah, I was just kind of telling that story there, Smiley. I guess I will tell this story as best as I can, especially with Lexi in chat. So, yeah, I did. The one person won the one kit and said there was like no way, and they asked me if I would take it. I was like, yeah. And then things got a little squirrely around here, and I was like, maybe a bad idea. No. So I kind of put it aside, and then I started thinking, yeah, it's a possibility. And then I started reading on Tanaze's kit there that it should be used like immediately, if not stored. You have to put it in the freezer, refrigerator, and it keeps for like 6 months. So I started to question if I could use that kit. So I actually kind of opted to go for what I thought would be an easier kit, and that was Tommy's kit. And so Tommy, I went to go buy one, and I couldn't find one, which leads me to a side story real quick. When I went to my local grocery store and tried to buy that substrate, they practically tossed me out of the fucking store. Fuck that shit. What? You want what? No, we have no, fuck no, said other customers, and we have nothing to grow mushrooms with. No. Practically threw me out. And I was like, ugh. So I contacted Tommy and I was like, so we're up here. Can I buy one? You know what I mean? And he's like, fuck that, dude. I'll send you one.
Yeah,
Give me your address. I'll fucking hook you up. And he did, man. It was like boom. It was like days later. I mean, as fast as it could got here, it was here.
Eagle, where you messed up, you can't tell them you're growing shrooms. You got to tell them you're growing tomatoes.
In the mushroom bag?
Yeah,
that
you
should
can't
work
tell
well.
them shrooms.
So bring things to current. When I've got the first kit, it kind of came with everything I needed, and I put those up somewhere. I hid them on myself, or I put them up, and so I've spent the last 3 days fucking looking for them motherfuckers to get these kits going. I don't have any idea. I've actually, like yesterday, pre-show, I'm like standing on ladders. I'm standing on a 4-foot ladder, like looking down on these cabinets, like maybe I need to change the angles. I just can't see from up here. I still couldn't fucking find that shit. It's here somewhere, but maybe I needed, like, maybe I was dosed up. Maybe I need to retrace my steps that way. You know what I mean? And try to figure out what I would have done then. I don't know. They're here. Yeah, I know it, because like one of the other things that really made me want to fucking get going is I seen Kazoo's. Kazoo had like fucking had his going, and he had like 4 days. 4 days. He had some fucking monsters. I was like, oh yeah, I gotta get my shit going.
That's what I was
I gotta get my shit going.
Like, what's the timeline on it all? Like, you inoculate the spawn, and then you got to give it a couple months to it kind of the mycelium grows.
Not even
like a couple months to fruit. Is that how that works?
Kazoo had them in 4 days.
No, man, they don't grow that fast. They don't fruit that fast anyway. I know. It'll be weeks.
I don't know. It's quick.
I guarantee it'll be weeks before that stuff's.
I doubt it, because even the kit that you could get from Walmart, like say for the blue oyster mushrooms, you cut that bag open, you take it home, you cut that bag, you soak it face down in water for 12 hours. You have mushrooms in 8 to 10 days.
Yeah, but those are like those are like already myceliumed out, aren't they? And you're just getting them wet, and then when you cut it open, it fruits. It's already ready to fruit, I think. I'm talking like you're inoculating that spawn. It's got to grow out in that grain or whatever you put it on. You know what I mean? And then
it happens a lot faster than you would believe. I'm telling you that right now. It happens.
I'll be curious
super fast.
Because that's my thing. I guess I haven't dug into it more, but I was just curious, like the whole timeline of from spore to fucking fruiting body, like. Because I would imagine the mushrooms probably grow pretty fast, like the fruiting body does, but I think the mycelium takes a little while to get to where it needs to be, but I don't know. Be interesting, man. I'm curious.
Oh, yeah, because I'm about there where, like, I need to get the bag going. I need to get the bag going. Stash is running low.
So I'm gonna ride you on another one. Can we see the earth boxes? I've been wanting to see them things too. I was gonna ask you that the last time, but because they're in flower, right? They got to be about week 4 in flower, don't they? So they're throwing some
past
nuts.
4. Yeah, they're pretty fat nuts. But you ain't seeing it tonight. There's a reason why the background's on. It looks like a bomb went off in here.
No, I hear you. I get you.
I was trimming. I've got the fucking incline bench back out over there. I mean, if you seen what was going on, you'd be like, God damn, what the fuck are you doing over there?
It's probably worse to you because you see it all. You know what I mean? I don't know. People notice everything.
I'm like anal about that shit too, man. Like, you know, a lot of nights before the show, when I have the camera on, even like tonight, I did have it on during the interview, but I was like, You could see so much shit in the background. I'm like looking at it. I'm like, oh, look at all that shit in the background, man. This guy's got to be thinking, wow. But I do that a lot. Before the show, I'll like flip on the camera and I'll like look to see what I can see. If I can see fucking bullshit, I'd fucking run over there and pick that shit up. It's clean anyway, but you know, I try to keep it extra clean. It gets to the point where this is how noticeable. There was one time, in fact, I did this to Med Grower 1 at one time, you know, because I've not always been on this side. I've been on the other side as well. It's like you notice things as a viewer. You tune in every night, you notice things. And there was one cat, I can't remember who it was, but you know, there is weights in here, you know, and I do try to stay fit as I can. Somebody actually called me out on the weights one day. They were like, yeah, I want to see them fucking weights move by the next time I tune in and shit. They moved in a few days, or chief. I was like, no shit, man. They're even picking up on that.
Yeah. We'll have to post a little video or something. Shoot a little bit. I'm curious. Everybody else is curious.
Oh, they're looking good. They're looking good.
Do the bud porn.
They're fixing to get stripped. I gave them a good stripping. It was a couple days ago. Fixing to go back in there and give them another TV.
So I just got done doing. Fuck. Plants are thick this round.
Listen, I'm going to get going, guys, but I just like hanging out here with you guys and being part of the crew. Appreciate it very much. And hope we see you tomorrow.
Yep. Good seeing you, Bingus.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you, Bingus.
Take care, guys.
Have a good one, Vegas.
No, man, they were super thick, dude. It took me twice as long, like doing their day 21-ish or whatever, you know. So, well, I guess 23, but anyway, I was doing that day 21 kind of strip. So I was getting them pretty clean. I like cleaning out all the little corners, you know, like even where all the little, I don't know, it's like the more you do it, the more you fuck with larvae buds in the harvest and you start getting more aggressive on that shit, you know what I mean? I stripped them pretty fucking thin, but it took me, I just took my time on it, but I was like, fuck that shit, because I've gone through them faster before and you miss some, like in the centers of the scrog and shit, and like later on you're dealing with that during harvest. It's like, fuck that.
I fucking got some girls back here behind me in the LED side of things that I'm gonna actually have to, like, this round. I was looking at them today and thinking about my options, because they took a nice spurt on me, and they're pretty good size. And so I was wondering, I was like weighing out my options. Like my options were like go through and like do like I normally kind of do and go in tabletop that girl pretty tough, flatten it out nice. Or my second option would have been go in there and aggressively top. And I don't need the clones. So that kind of breaks my heart to go in there and throw a fucking bunch of tops on the floor. You know what I mean? If they're not needed, it breaks my heart. Even when I do.
How far are we talking into flower here, though? Or are you not into flower?
No, they're in veg. They're still in veg. They're still in veg. So that's another option. And that breaks my heart, because even when I like lollipop, it breaks my heart if I'm like don't need them clones and I'm throwing them to the side. I'm like, oh man, God, they're good. You know, it just breaks my heart to see that kind of material go to waste. So my next option is to just go in there and fucking Swazi that bitch right out. Just go in there and just strip her right down to the sites and see how that option weighs out. I think that's going to really limit my stretch and just throw nothing but nugs. And it's,
And I mean,
I've never done that. I do a deleafing. I've always talked about deleafing, defoliating, deleafing. I don't know why. I like deleafing so much better than defoliating. But so I do it heavy, but not as like Swazi. I don't strip her bare. I've never done that, so I'm kind of anxious to try that one once.
I would. I mean, I don't think it's a bad candidate, and especially if it's already possibly overgrown, it's a good one to see where you're at with the technique, you know. But the one thing I've noticed, Eagle, and you probably have too, but like if I get real aggressive at certain stages in veg, or because so I guess I'll break it down right into how I'm doing it. Like when I transplant, there's a row that goes under 315 metal ceramic metal halides. They're there for about 2.5 weeks. They go under two 600 watt metal halides. They're there for 3 weeks, and then they go under two of the HLG 550B specs, which replace the 1,000 watt metal halides. But anyway, so that's the stages in veg, and then they go into flower or whatever. But if I strip those, like right at transplant is usually what I'll try to do to get them to start branching. But if I strip them real hard when they're under the 600 watts in that next stage, it seems like they throw all these crazy little inner leaves, you know what I mean? And they're not like, it's like they come back with the amount of leaves, but it's triple the number of leaves, but they're a third the size, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and I don't know if you've noticed that or not, but if you strip all the big leaves off them all at once, it'll come back with a bunch of little leaves. Like it's they rage back. It's not a, I mean, I understand the technique and training it, but it's like I've kind of gone away from doing that real heavy strip in the middle stage of veg, because at the end stage of veg and going into flower, when I go to lollipop, it's been making a lot more time for me trying to clean out all those little leaves that form. You get what I'm saying? And all the little inner branching that forms because of that stripping and the way the plant responds. So it's something to keep in mind.
Right on. You know, and I think that leads back to what Steve Collins is asking there in chat here. It's asking if I fem or do a just straight cut when I top there. You know, if that's the technique that I'm doing, I do like the stacking of a fem topping, you know, but it leads more back to the problems where Smiley's talking about there. If you start femming early enough, you kind of get very dense in a lot of spots where you got to clean out. So if I'm going to top, I tend usually to just top. But anymore, I'm not even topping. I'm not even really topping anymore. I'm doing I've showed Smiley, and I guess even from what I've heard from like Boom, Grandmaster level kind of does another similar technique to where he's stripping basically up to them top two and then letting have the bottom shoot up like that. That works so much better, yeah. Well, I actually just leave the top. The what comes out and then two big ones is what I leave, and let the bottom everything else shoot up there. That method to me works so much better than topping. You know, I get such nice, better plant structure versus femming or topping. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah, and the distance, like you want the ones to catch up will matter how tight you pluck that top meristem too. Because like a lot of times those are like all the little leaves are kind of like outfolding from that. You know what I'm saying? They all grow out of the center of that. So you can get pretty aggressive and even pull some of the other ones as long as you leave that last little tip still growing. They'll come back. They do fucking stress though if you start really getting the new growth leaves when you're doing that tech. Like It may get, I think that's part of why I get purple stems sometimes, because it seems like the ones I get real aggressive like that on that Mary stem, it fucking pisses them off or whatever.
I think the red stem comes from the fire red and the LEDs. The extra fire red in there.
It can't be, because the fucking B-spec light is the one that's driving me crazy with it, Eagle.
Huh.
Minute I move them under them B-specs, they fucking freak the fuck out, and I gotta dial them way the fuck back to like less than what the 300s were. So I don't know. Those two 550 B-specs, I think I could have got away with 3 of the 300s in that. But the way I got them dialed down, it would have spaced out the boards enough. You know what I mean? Like I basically got 8 quantum boards over that row in the two 550s or two 600s, I guess they are. But the 300s, 2 boards makes the fixture. You know what I mean? I could have done 6 boards and ran them a little heavier, I guess.
So, you know, I've been running the plants that I'm referring to are in the LED side back there, and they've been running under 24 for a minute, a minute, and I actually noticed them starting to get very deficient there from the 24, and they were in good soil. They had no reason to be deficient. pH was fucking fine, but still was fucking locking out. And so I fucking got out the little leaf chart, and it wasn't just one. It was like I was starting to wonder if it was infection. To be honest with you, too, because it was like yellow and going in every plant in every LED tent. It was like same thing, and so I look at my leaf key there, and it shows sulfur. It looked like sulfur lockout. So I go back in and I add my Epsom salt, 2 teaspoons per 5 gallons. So, and watered for a week solid, 3 waterings is what it turned out to be, because they were pretty locked up. They weren't taking much of shit. They're pretty soaked. And I'll be damned if that Epsom salt didn't fucking put the things back on track. Kind of unlocked them. That's where the growth spurt kind of came out, man. That Epsom salt kind of unlocked it, and they just fucking popped right back up. So I'm wondering if that's just one of the things that them LEDs, once they start going, overtime past the daily light interval, basically, and they're kind of like locking out. I can't help but wonder if sulfur is one of the things that's being locked out. Well, it could be sulfur because it has to be using more, right? Because if it were being locked out, there'd be an excess of in the soil, right?
And
So
it'd be
adding
using
it
more
wouldn't have
because you
helped.
said it's in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Well, the plants have to do like I'm gonna fuck the words up because I'm kind of stoned, but everybody refers to like photosystem B and photosystem A, right? And then there's one of them they always call the dark reaction, and everybody always assumes that is a reaction that happens at nighttime, which it does. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it doesn't, but that also happens during the daytime. And if you look into photosynthesis and the electron transfer chain that happens during photosynthesis, if you look at the what is it, the Kelvin cycle or whatever, there's the circle diagram. There's a Rubisco enzyme that's there, but basically before that enzyme can be free to grab another electron for that transfer to happen into sugar, it has to get rid of the one it grabbed before. You know what I'm saying? So like if it was an assembly line the end part of that assembly line has to happen before the first parts of the assembly line can really go, you know what I'm saying? So like in a light saturation standpoint, you have the first part, the light reaction part of photosynthesis happening really fast and really abundantly, but you still have to have the rest of that electron transfer chain happen, that reaction happen, so that it's free to grab that energy in that chain again. You know what I'm saying? Like it has to be able to get rid of the one it already grabbed previous. So the rate of photosynthesis is actually limited on the efficiency of that transfer and all that too, if that makes sense. It's an assembly line, man. It's a fucking factory.
Yeah. That's why they call it a plant, right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
The manufacturing plant.
Does that make sense, or did I just babble?
Yeah, no, it does. I liked it. It made it whatever was a good enough analogy for me. So I just thought, yeah, it's instead of maybe like how we call it a lockout, in that case maybe it was like a crash out or something, you know, like everything fell off the conveyor belt, you're saying.
Well, and if you look at it in that light, you can lock it out or crash it out, so to speak, at any point, right? You can over-nutrient it. So now the plant's not photosynthesizing enough to be able to use the nutrient you gave it, right? So you overloaded it on that aspect. You can overload it with light so that the plant's not able to deal with the light. You know, you can overload it with whatever, water, CO2. But it's all just kind of understanding how that plant's using it and at what stage. It's keep it simple. But that's where I've really been down a lot of my lights back. Like a lot of guys talk 1,000 ppfd. So anybody's got a meter. I'm actually down. I've dialed mine back to 800, and that seems to be where mine operate the best. The plants. And I think it just has to do with my environment. My temperature is not controlled good enough to run it, or my CO2 or whatever isn't. You know what I mean? All the missing pieces weren't there to be able to function properly at 1,000 ppfd. Maybe at a lab where they had everything perfect, they found the key to make it function at that. But mine, it's at 800. You know what I mean? And I'm only saying that because it's going to ring a bell with somebody else that's going to go, aha, my fucking shit should be at 500, you know? So. Sorry.
Yeah.
These are aha moments for me the last few weeks. So.
I'm learning in chat too. They're talking about Epsom salt there in chat. How much to use? Mike B was asking, recommended for 7 gallons. I said 3 tablespoons. And that's because I would add it every watering. I'm like that kind of person. You know, when I feed, I like to feed every watering at a lighter dose versus, you know, one heavy dose every so often. But so I said 3 tablespoons. Ted Westmore says funny. That's 3 tablespoons equals 1 tablespoon. And I thought it was all this time. I always thought it was 2 to 1. 2 teaspoons equaled 1 tablespoon, but they're saying no, 3 to 1.
Yeah,
so I've been mismeasuring for a minute.
But Eagle, were those yellowing from the top down? Is that what you were seeing with the plant? I forget. And you got purpling stuff.
No, it was whole plant, and it was from the outside of the leaf in. It was actually, getting neurosis almost from the outside in. It was
the sulfur though, man. Usually those leaf charts get confusing sometimes. It's hard to go, well, is it phosphorus or is it this? Or is it that?
That's what I was thinking. Maybe it wasn't the magnesium. Maybe it was the sulfur that's in that Epsom salt.
Magnesium sulfate, that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But if it worked, it wasn't just the water mixed with the magnesium sulfate. Right. That's what sucks sometimes, right? That's why I forget. I think it was MedFit, but I can't verify it now. But somebody did like they were growing, and they were using salts, and they might have been using raw, and they just neglected one. Like they ran the whole line except left out the phosphorus. See what it looked like. They ran the whole line, left out the calcium, like they left out one thing each time just to see what the plants would end up looking like. But even then, what usually what I think happens is like blackouts happen for some reason, and it's more than one thing, more than one issue happening. And
so
a lot of them look so much alike. It's really difficult sometimes.
It is. You're very correct there, Tyler. Even when you're looking at that leaf key, a lot of them do look similar, just like Smiley said. Man, you fucking nail. Well, it's a two-step diagnosis is how you need to approach that when you're fucking looking at your plant health. You need to look at that leaf key. Start out. I hate to say it. You need to. This is what I do. Not you need to. Don't fucking. You don't need to. Don't fucking. Nobody's telling you this is the way. But when I have a problem, this is how I approach it. Best way to approach it is I'll look at the plant and I'll see the problem of the leaves. Like Smiley said, I'll kind of take note of where they are because that's pretty key as well. So then I'll go to my leaf key and I'll fucking look at it and I'll see basically what my possibilities are. And like you said, it could be this, could be that. So I've now got a couple of choices. So now I got to go look at the plant again. Okay, yep, these couple look like it. So what's next? Location of the plant, just like Smiley brought up, because that's going to be your next key. Because the location matters. Is it up top? Is it down low? Is it the whole plant? Because now your next question is to diagnose the next phase is it mobile or immobile? Because that now it's going to be, that will help you properly diagnose A or B. That will help you take you down. It'll at least get you a hell of a lot closer, depending on where that problem is. And in my case, it was whole plant, and it's, it met all the boxes. Sulfur met all the boxes.
Yo, it's 420 somewhere. Just to point it out.
It is a good way to point it out. I'm ready, Cal.
And so, dude, remember that yellow plant? It's still basically yellow. It's growing, though. It is continually growing.
Which one? You got a yellow plant, Cal?
Yeah, the light's not on right now. I wish it was on. I would love to show everyone because it's only one. The rest of the whole thing is green, and it's like yellow through and through. It's wild.
Yeah.
Remember I showed you that one? You're like, yeah, spray some aloe juice with maybe some coconut water mixed. I did. I hit it with some aloe juice. And no cocoa water, though. I ain't got no cocoa water. But
you did half of what?
I did half. It didn't even come back half. No, but it's still growing. I didn't give up on it. I didn't delete it yet, and I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna let it finish out, see what happens. I tried a couple of foliar sprays.
Do you have the aminos?
What's that?
Do you have the amino acids from
Brandon? I used those too. I did the from Russ Brandon. I used that too.
And nothing?
Nothing. It didn't green up. Nope.
Do you have some type of liquid or dry seaweed?
I got some sort of water soluble kelp.
I would try that next.
Yeah, I'm about ready to just let it go because I told you, right? That was the one I'm pretty damn sure when that. It's hard to explain, but I got the new tent. I had my exhaust hooked up to a temperature monitor that was in the original tent. So then when I got the new tent, I wired out my filter. So they're both sucking. The one filter sucks from both tents all the time when it's on. So when the temperature controlled one was on, I would plug it into the temperature control. And when it flipped, I would unplug it and plug it in constantly because I didn't have a temperature. I still don't have one for the other tent yet. And I got a fan and a filter too. I just need a temperature control. Anyway, long story short is I didn't plug it in. The tank got way overheated, and I think that one plant got stressed to the point where it got funked beyond repair somehow. I really don't know, but it went south and it never came back. But it's still growing. It's like growing buds and shit, but it hardly has any green on it at all.
What week is it?
It's probably week 5 now in there, maybe 6. I think I flipped that thing on January 1st because I was thinking like, yeah,
write
New
it down?
Year's. Nah, dude, I'm getting bad at that shit. I got so much shit. So yeah, first off, I rarely write the shit down. Then I'm like, you know what? All you got to do is take a picture. When I fill up the tent or when I take cuts, I'll take pictures of it all. It has a time, the day. And I can't even fucking keep up with that. It's just lame.
Then you look back at the pictures
good.
and you're like, what fucking plant was that again?
No, that I am constantly on. I'm on that shit, dude. Labels, because I've had it. I tell everyone, don't be getting those stick-on labels, dude. I told this one person, I saw him on IG, they had the stick-on labels onto the containers. I'm like, dude, that shit's going to fall off. You're not going to know what. They're like, yeah, well, I did it already. And sure enough, like fucking 3 weeks later, I'm looking on their shit. They're like, yeah, this is a mystery plant. All the labels fell off. So, yeah, I tell you, I write it with a crayon on the container, and I double look. Yeah, it doesn't come off unless you wash it off, and I wash it off every time too.
I like that.
But double look.
I was just gonna say I do the little stakes in the pot, but then you fucking
you don't put the stake.
You lose that son bitch.
Or if you got 3 stakes next to you, you're transplanting them, and you got 2 stakes and 3 stakes there.
I used to fucking use I used to go to Harbor Freight and you can get a zip ties, a color coded amongst different colors.
I got that going on too.
And fucking color code them, but that you're only good for a couple of strains, and then you gotta kind of start coming up like a weird, double yellow equals. You know what I mean? Yellow, green.
Then you gotta make sure you don't lose your master key to that too, especially if it's changing every round,
If you got the mother's zippy
tie. Oh no. Once you come up with a color system, that shit stays. That color is that fucking strain until that fucker goes. Yellow, green is fucking whatever until that strain fucking goes. You should just get to know yellow, green is fucking whatever.
I just bought
ain't no mixing it up at that point.
Box of 1,000 of those little white tags, and I got them. I can scratch it off. I can throw it away if I make a mistake, and I can write another one on there.
The color coding is good though, because then once it's on there, unless you cut it off or the plant grows around it, you get the mother with the green zippy, and then every cutting would put a green zippy on it, and then it's the same. But that's a pain in the ass.
You learned all the colors that you could look across the row and be like, bam, there's 4 purples, 2 reds, 3 greens, and good to go. Got those or whatever. Yeah.
It's definitely a nice system.
You're wondering if you took a cut or something, you could just quickly glance over. Yeah, there's a green tag over there. I got that one.
Well, that's why I did it when I took the cuts off of those, the AK Blueberry by Cheesequakes. So they're all, the ones with the zippy ties are all that, pieces of that from those genetics, different plants. Those are the only ones I did it with. I got 4 zippy tie, black, yellow, green, and white, and then 1 totally unlabeled, but I got that labeled on the containers though. I got 5 of those.
You can do that with duct tape probably pretty easy too. Like on the plastic pots, put the duct tape around it.
That's a good idea too.
That wouldn't be too expensive to buy different color duct tapes. Like if you had 6 different strains, you'd have 6 different colors. And
just... Eagle was on that.
It's not effective for people that are constantly popping new seeds, though. Like you're not gonna color code your shit because you're always popping.
You need thousands.
No. That's the colors. One fits all right there. That's what you're saying. I write that, and I fucking actually that tag right there from the point. The seeds, okay, even on the seed thing, it's got strip, says blah, 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 blah. So next thing is to, each one of those cups will get that piece of tape, and I won't fasten it to the cup all the way. I'll leave it just enough so I can peel it off, and then that tag goes from pot to pot. When I take it out of that solo cup to the 1 gallon, I peel it off and stick it to the fucking outside of the next pot. Before I do anything else, soon as I take that out, boom, 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 that thing goes right from that cup to the next pot. That's my next motion before I fucking do anything else.
It's funny how that is. You get your rhythm to it. Like I peel.
I gave up on.
Like
I
when
gave up on the things because
right out right away, so they're not in there and I don't fucking double tag.
How often have you watered down a fucking steak?
Yeah, a lot.
Had it just like go ride the edge of a pot down in the edge of a pot. You don't fucking know what it is, or you've got it sticking in the top and you do that fucking transplant. Thank. Right over, you know what I mean? Because you do it right over top of your hole. And then you fucking, you're watering and you get looking around and you fucking.
Fuck is the tag?
Motherfucker, where's that tag? Yeah, and you're like, oh, it's in the bottom of that hole. That's if you catch it in time. That's if you fucking just don't water and set it aside.
On your shoe.
5 of them down.
Set it on your shoe, Eagle. That way you don't.
Eagle's doing kung fu moves on his transplants. Ooh, ah.
Don't do that. Nobody don't do that. Come on.
Bitches in the We're on the
one motion.
Fuck you, bitch.
One fucking throw and rapid stop. Pull that pot off. It's a rehearsed motion, I guess.
Out,
I don't know.
Slam. Out and slam.
I don't know. You guys making fun of my process. This is why I don't talk about my process.
That's years of practice right there to get that proper.
Hey, I have seen. Have you seen anyone use or see the containers with removable lids? So you don't have to give it a kung fu chop.
I got the easy swap ones where they unfold or like a square one. That's the simplest ones I've seen. Yeah.
I think these were called Rapid Stack, something like that. And they're like rippable or something.
Huh. What is it, Velcro or?
Yeah. It could have been a Velcro one. This was a Urban Ramo video that I watched. Urban Grower.
My Easy Pots are my air pots. They're not Easy Pots. My air pots were nice like that because you could pull the pins and just that plastic would open up around them and you could reuse those pots forever. I still got the fucking pots. But they were like the cone in and out cones made it weird for that transplant. That's one of the reasons I kind of went back to the nursery pots, is because I actually learned it from Mr. Tight. More people remember it from Med Grower 1 of like putting the pot down in your pot and then backfilling around the pot.
I remember
sprinkling the hole.
Growing in the kitty litter containers. Did you see that?
It works very nice. Yeah, nice. Them things work nice because you can put them all nice and tight. But that, you can pull out that nursery container, put micros in your hole, and then you can do that.
Well,
like I said, the boom right down into the hole, that fucking spike.
One thing I'll never do though, or that I'll always do, I'll never stop doing, is using an extra pot as a template though, for sure. Backfill around a pot, just remove it, and then it just slide right into the pot.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
I'm off that regions. My shit gets root bound, man. I was telling Smiley the other day, I'm taking off a 1/4 inch all the way around that shit, no matter what, even if it's probably good. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Oh, it's good.
No fear.
Cut them roots. They don't need them.
So yeah, do you guys remember I was saying I got organic French lentils to feed my worms? I don't know if I told you, but I was like,
Fancy.
well, no, that's what's
Shit,
on
you
the
go on
shelf,
like,
dude. I don't know,
right?
but
It's like
dainty.
FDR for the fucking.
French cream
Oh,
lentils.
Okay, so yesterday was
This shit's
lanquish,
growing.
and today is the French lentils.
Right, gourmet
Wait.
meal for the worms.
I'm learning more from anyone than Tao right
Sorry.
now.
Oh, go ahead, man. French.
Well, no, but so I knew from common knowledge in my lifetime that like if you get the lentils, you got to soak them. Usually, you got to soak them, right? If you're gonna eat them.
Yeah. You cook
And
them.
like when I open them up, like yeah, they're dry. I'm like I'm gonna soak them so that like they'll be soft when I feed them to the worms. So I fucking put water in, bro. The shit swelled up. The shit swelled up big time, dude. It was like bursting at the sides. It's so cool. But anyway, now they got all little root tips on them. They're all fucking growing. And so that's a good
For
sign.
some reason, I just pictured your worms exploding from fucking gassing.
Like the birds, you feed the birds
Yeah.
Alka-Seltzer and shit.
Yeah,
Watch them
Alka-Seltzer.
explode when they fly away.
My fucking worms are exploding for some reason, man. They're
Worms have diabetes.
That's fucking hilarious.
No, but I didn't think they would start growing, but they are all growing. I'm thinking
That's
about planting
awesome
some
stuff.
lentils, man. How do they grow? How long would that
Yes.
take?
When you're sprouting seeds and you're soaking them, they expand like a motherfucker. Like a third
Right.
of the container, a third maybe at the most, fill it with the seeds and then put water to it.
When I want my seeds to grow a tail, they don't. When I don't give a shit, they just fucking all start growing.
So the worms loved it. What, they dancing?
I don't know. I just put them in. They're like, I put them in that one side.
We all got to go buy out all the French lentils. They can't be
I don't know,
American lentils. Why does it got to be French ones?
Dude, I don't know. It was the only one that was organic. I told
They
you, right?
have to be organic. Yeah,
My worms and my marijuana plants eat better than me, all right? I have some, it's all part of the program.
Yeah, Tao, you ever open up that worm bin? They ask you for some Grey Poupon?
No, but they've been asking for foie gras, apparently.
Foie gras.
Yeah.
Pardon me, sir. Do you have some Grey Poupon?
Oh shit! There they are. Them look like them. Don't
Oh,
look like
man.
lentils. Those look like Italian lentils. Are you sure you got the
They
right
ripped
thing?
you off, Tao, yeah.
Well, it says French on the bag, but I don't know, man. Them kind of look Italian.
You think I got robbed?
They
The
might
old
be a
bait and
mix,
switch?
right? That's so funny.
They're all growing, man.
I like it. So what are you gonna do? You gonna blend them up, or are you just gonna throw them in there and grow?
I'm just throwing them in there.
You're gonna have a bunch of
So,
lentils out of your worm bin.
Tao,
Yeah.
when you get them like that, do you have to wonder if like is GMO a factor on that? Does it say non-GMO on that bag? You're feeding your worms high level, dainty GMO.
They're organic and French, but they are GMO.
No, they can't be, right?
Shit, France is
be.
tougher on their food, I think, than America is.
Oh, for
And now
sure.
you got me reading the freaking bag.
Well, that could be just as strange. Just because
Maybe
they're
the
French
French lentils
lentils
grown in
don't mean they
America.
ain't grown here.
Right?
Right.
We're just gonna call them French and organic. Some dumbass will buy them and think.
Some dumbass American will buy them. Oh, see, that was really bad French accent.
That was your French accent.
How about you guys?
Oh man, I'm sorry, man. We're just ripping out.
I thought that was you doing an impression of us doing your impression.
Thank God I got weed, man.
It's
Nothing
all
matters.
fun, man.
It It does. Yeah, it doesn't say where they're grown. It just says French green lentils. It's got to say, right? A product of somewhere.
You'd think so. Product Spain, product of Mexico, somewhere. California. So what made you? All right, what made you go off the like into like beans for your worms?
Lentils are high in
What made-
phosphorus. And
Phosphorus.
I didn't have a good phosphorus source in my earthworm castings.
How can I feed them like kelp, like Coot suggests? Do you feed them kelp?
I did. I have. I ran out of the kelp. I need to go fetch more kelp. I need to fetch a couple of things. Yeah.
Does
I've been
anyone?
feeding them cantaloupe. Sorry.
I was going to ask. Has anyone heard of the green part of a watermelon? Is good? Is that a special thing that you use or can feed to worms?
I don't know how special it is, but I've fed them the whole things. I feed them the whole things. But the watermelon's too wet, so you gotta. Well, it's not too wet. You just gotta like compensate for how much juice is in that and all that stuff. But yeah, you know what doesn't disappear for a long ass time? The skins. Skins of the pear. I put pear in there. The skins are still there. The skins of a cantaloupe. That like beige color netting that's around the outside of a cantaloupe. That shit's still like intact. And
You ever
all
put a tomato in there, whole, like
no,
one that rotted on you in the fridge or something?
no, why?
You
What
like
happens with that?
deflate it like a balloon.
And does the skin stay or no?
Yeah, the skin stays. It's like a balloon.
So
That just
weird. Yeah, why? The skin of fruit must be like impervious to bacteria breakdown or something, dude. It's
I think
crazy.
it's the higher lignin and tannin, and it's the tougher material, right? Like it takes the more fungal stuff to break it down.
I guess so, yeah. And the hemp
bacteria.
stalk
So,
don't break down for shit either in there. I've had a couple buried, and I like see how they're still there, dude. That shit is persevering, man. Hemp stalks are last a long time.
yeah, they don't just tear everything up. It's all the worms are just scooping up the sludge that the biology is leaving, to my understanding.
Yeah. That's what they said. They ain't got no
That's why,
teeth.
yeah. So like like if it takes longer to break that stuff down, it's just more. It's like more dense material, basically.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, all that other shit, just water, basically. A lot of like fruit, a lot of stuff you put in there is just water.
Yeah, but that's
Even the leaves. Oh, I was gonna ask you, maybe you know this, Smiley. So like how you want nitrogen, carbon, whatever ratios for your worms or any compost. When the leaves are dry and they're green, is it carbon or is it nitrogen? Because I think I know, but
I believe it's going to be nitrogen. Anything green.
Yeah.
right.
Is it still like an intact leaf, or are we talking so dry it's like powder now?
Well, either way, I think if it's green, it would be nitrogen. If it's brown, it's carbon. But
Right.
I'm saying either or because I got both. I got fresh green ones and I got ones now that are powder, pretty much, that are going into the worm bin. And thank God I got my plants because I need all those leaves to keep feeding them. They're running out. I need to go make a run tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tell you guys, I'm telling you, Coots mix. But here's another thing. I think it's like here's a theory of mine. I think the earthworm castings inherently have a shit ton of nitrogen in them. It appears, and like almost my plants didn't really fade much at all. The ones that I ran in this mix, and I think it's not only because I didn't let them go long enough, but that could be, probably everybody should let their plants go another 3 weeks, probably. But I digress. But my thought is now I need to get them bigger. I want them bigger in the containers, properly sized for the containers, and they'll use up all that nitrogen, I think, and it'll just be better off. But Cooch's mix is also, I think, lacking in some phosphorus. So that's another thing. I'm adding fish bone meal minusculely to the earthworm bin, but I'm adding like a half a cup when I go to the transplant spot now, when I transplant it in there. And a pinch of some guano, either that or I have seabird guano. And that's it. That's, that's what I'm thinking.
Bam, bam, there it is.
And it'll help everything out. Yeah, bam, bam. Dude, so listen, and then here's another thing. Plants could be stupid, beautiful, healthy, and not yield. Like tomato plants, if they have way too much nitrogen, they won't make fruit and shit. So there's something, I think, to that too. So
there's a lot to that, actually.
Yeah. So that's
with tomatoes, you can see it visually.
I bet you that's a similar effect in Canada,
they
right?
Fruit and form at the same size and color, ripen at the similar time on that. So if you see one that's like red at the top and they're real big at the top of it, and then they're small and green at the bottom, that's a indicator of like nutrition and balance.
Earlier when we were talking about the identifying the nutrient deficiencies or blackout or whatever it could be, I was thinking, is there any deficiency that's beneficial to the end result? And now just thinking about that again, the only one I can think of is nitrogen. Would you agree that maybe a little early fade or early nitrogen deficiency at the very end is beneficial or not so much?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends. Like, if you think, the plant's trying to make cells, right? Like even when it's fruiting and it's trying to densen up its flower or whatever you're trying to expect it to do, I think it's still using, it's using energy and nutrients to do that, right? Like, I don't know. So I don't know that you want to starve it right away, but.
Not from the start, but make sure it's the first thing that's depleted before anything else. Before you have any calcium, phosphorus, anything. The first thing to maybe be left out of the plant by the very end would be nitrogen, I would think.
Yeah, ones that it could suck out of itself and move to the top. So that wouldn't be as bad as a nutrient that it can't move, an immobile one probably, right?
Say no earlier than like day 42 on a usual 8 or 9 week. Right.
Well, nitrogen intakes, anytime that I've ran like a good regular regimen that's, high in nitrogen in a flower, always throws that nanners early in flower, week 4, week 5. And if not, if you don't pull back, I've noticed the other side effect of not pulling back on the nitrogen in flower is like your buds will tend to form and then like want to take off again. You know what I mean? They just don't want to stop. They just kind of, the white hairs just keep going and going and going. They never really want to seem to ripen up. So yeah, that's
all right. That's something I always that's kind of an intuitive thing I kind of always thought. So.
Yeah, I don't, now that I'm in the organic stuff, I don't give them too much after. I'm basically mostly only water. Every once in a while, I'll hit them up with the Amino Plus from Brandon. Maybe some follow feeding, maybe a little top dress when I've hit them into flour. But when I was doing the salts, some of them claim you should start with the flour fertilizer like a week before you put them into flour. And some say you should use half flour and half veg nutrient for the first week of flour. So what's the new science on that as far as the salts go? What are they preaching?
Maybe just the very first feeding. Like if you time it on the day 1, you're feeding all the time, like saying a DWC thing. But let's say if you're still top dressing, either by wand or hand feeding or automated system, and if you can time when the plants are thirsty and you flip the switch at the same time, maybe just give them the final last bit of veg nudes on day 1, just to maybe give them a boost of whatever growth growth side of things are there.
Right, right.
I'm right there with you, but I'm like the whole first week and a half veg. She's stretching, she's growing. Why not give her that nitrogen and then pull it back? You know what I mean? Why pull it? Why take it the opposite way and then starve it through the stretch for nitrogen?
Right, make her hurt for something when she's gonna really use it all up.
Phosphorus and too much phosphorus in veg can cause problems, can it, Smiley? I know that's usually when you see a large amount of phosphorus in veg plants are usually nice dark green, and that's usually when you start seeing the multi-fingered leaves. Yeah, that's usually when I've noticed them. When you start seeing the 11s and 9s and the odd numbers, large numbers of fingers is usually from a high amount of phosphorus. Is usually behind that. But
Yeah,
in veg, I find that
applying
it's a waste, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, you're gonna throw everything out of balance. It's all about keeping it in a balance, though. You go. That's the thing. Like you don't, you're not. If you look at the nutrient programs that are out there, that's why they switch from a veg formula to a bloom formula, because they're trying to, like, that's the research that they do, is keeping all those macro and micronutrients in a balance. Like they were talking about that on the GML show, and Wolverine was kind of talking about that. That's why he's gone away from adding like CalMag to certain mixes, and he's actually gone into like adding more of a, I forget what nutrient line, but the B or whatever it is, they'll do a 2-to-1 on the B to A instead of a 1-to-1 or whatever, and that B part of the formula, when you dig into it, it has the cal or whatever it was that he was adding. So by increasing that, he's just kind of touching that balance up a little bit. I mean, I don't know. I guess that's my best understanding. I don't run the salt, so I'm not trying to talk like I know, but
I think when I can compare this.
Need potassium early in flour can cause a low decrease in yield. I know that. So if you come
I think that it can be applied to organic and salt, definitely though.
Yeah.
Same concept.
But that's been the big thing I learned, is coming at it too soon in flour. Like even like as the buds are starting to develop, if you really hammer it with a potassium, high potassium, you just kind of kill everything and what it's trying to do.
What were you gonna say there, Red Pill? You got you a little gun shy yet. You gotta learn to jump in there, brother.
Okay. No, I was gonna say because it's what's driving the conversation, and what the plants would tell me would be the fade, and I don't know how big of a deal that really is and how important it is, but we're talking about end result and where we thought either we were the most satisfied or we thought we could diagnose the plants the most happy. Timing the fade and all that, is where I'm getting this idea. So, but it can be compared to organic and salt growing, because you're giving the plant what it wants at what time in the growth cycle or in the flower cycle stays the same. It's just different inputs, and a completely different concept or ideology of where you get them from and how you deliver it to the plant and all that.
That's why I've been trying to time top dressings similarly, and I've been writing down what I've been putting on, just because, like, then I can flip back if I see something late in flower. I can flip back all the way through into like veg what I top dressed on that row and veg even, so some of that stuff releases at different times, and that's kind of where, like, I was doing, for an example, I was doing 2 tablespoons of the fishbone meal when I flipped to flour. Well, now I'm doing 1 tablespoon of fishbone meal 2 weeks before I flip the flour, and I'm doing a second one as I flip the flour. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like half of it's starting to break down and be available a lot sooner than the other half.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
it's just an example. I mean, I'm not whatever.
But you're diagnosing what the plant is asking for, and you're addressing it how, you know, you're basing it off of what you see, and given the amount of time, and yours in that in an organic setup where you do need time to break things down, versus, you know, in DWC or salt, then it's immediately, or, you know, almost instantaneous uptake or change in
So
work.
how about this, Smiley? Why don't you want to add its container at the beginning?
What do you mean, like that fishbone meal?
Yeah, when you first transplant it into the container that it's going to be in for flour, why don't you add it in then?
I mean, you could. It's just I don't try to overwhelm it. Like I look at it like maybe a kid trying to eat a meal, right? Like my 1-year-old grandson. I'm not gonna cut up a T-bone steak, big chunks of it, and try to jam it. You know what I'm saying?
You're
Like,
going to grow up a man or a boy?
well, I'm just trying to think of a good example.
No,
Now, but I'm
that's
just saying, like you know, having it all in there.
right.
Like the super soil mix has it all in there, but when they cook it, that kind of it gives the biology a time to process what you put in there, you know, without the plant being affected by it. So that's an important step of trying to do that with that style. Like, and if you're trying to top dress it, it's a real similar thing. If you go really aggressive too early, you can cause
one more thing to add to where I kind of engineered kind of what we're talking about. And if you get to run multiple strains back to back, or you're keeping it around, and if you are growing in a living soil or super soil or an amended soil type setup, there's 2 intervals that you engineer to kind of time everything what we're talking about at the same time, and it's size of the pot and how fast the plants metabolize based on the subject we had earlier about the type of light and how much you're giving it. So there's multiple plants that if they have a slow metabolism, you can put them in a smaller pot because they're going to go through that same volume of super soil slower, versus a plant with a real fast metabolism going up a few gallons on the pot size, because that's all the food that there is to go off of. If you're only pre-mixing soil and then not amending it during the growth cycle of the plant. That's because I do that. I the subcool super soil method, pretty much. I didn't ever add any inputs after I mixed the soil other than top dress and compost. So I found that in like a Bubba Kush setting, Bubba Kush was a slow metabolizing plant. It did really good in a 3-gallon pot. Kosher Kush probably was more faster, but did better in a 5-gallon pot. So it would look weird if you did want to use that. And that's one thing that you did, one niche that you had in your grow room or whatever. It would look very weird opening your tent or showing someone, you know, the grow room, and then they're asking, why do you have 4 different pot sizes for like 15 different plants? But that would be the reason why. It looked kind of goofy, but you would be dialing in the nutrient uptake of the plant in super soil based on the, you know, how much it's eating and how much food there is for it to eat. If you're running multiple strains in a room, you know,
yeah, you got to know. You got to know those strains too. That means, you know. But the only reason I asked that, Smiley, is because, like, I realized a long time ago, if you have it in the 5-gallon container and you don't never water to run off where it actually runs off, whatever nutrients is in that container will be there till the, you know, like, if you add it at the beginning or in the middle or at the end, if you put it in the beginning, it'll still, they'll be there, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
It's either there in the soil or stored in the leaves. So,
but like Smiley's saying, you make it too hot and then the roots ain't happy, and then you let it cool off. The plant eats a bunch of it, and then you add some more on top, and it might be happier.
It's the microbes eating it, though. That's what I'm trying to think of as a good way to kind of
Right.
dynamic into it, because like we
So
always
that's the other thing I was thinking about.
we always think of nitrogen in form of aminos or excuse me, ammonium or nitrate, but organic forms of nitrogen work way different than that. And it's like what Red Pill was saying with the compost, when you're adding that organic material, that's nitrogen, that's phosphorus, that's potassium, that's all these things that the plant needs to grow. It's just got to kind of be peeled apart, so to speak. It's got to be disassembled in a way that biology does it to sustain its own life. But in those life cycles, it's releasing that to the plant. Like Scott Skames always talks about the higher levels of the soil food web, like nematodes, like bacterial eating nematodes, as being, the actual fertilizer spreaders. And then they always talk about bacteria as actually being fertilizer bags. And I like that analogy because, like, when you're talking in terms of bacterial, they're fucking eating all that shit to make their own bodies and to grow and split and make these huge colonies. Like that's the other side of the coin we always forget about, is like, yeah, we had a bloom in biology. Well, what did that do? That took nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, all the, what I mean? Like they need all that shit in their lives too. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when Scott's talking about the higher levels of that soil food web, those nematodes come in and they eat those for their own food too, right? And then they shit out these remains, but the stuff
Plant
that
uptake.
yeah, those are the microbial metabolites that I'm always kind of like talking about in
It's
chat.
all about the metabolites. The microbial metabolites end up being the secondary metabolites of the plants, and that's what we like so much.
If the nematodes don't eat the bacteria, don't the bacteria just die and become plant available anyway and somehow?
No,
Right,
I think there's
the thought is it's cycling that way.
But
okay.
they could never do that faster than an 8-week flowering plant could, even in like a 1-gallon pot with a big, healthy, developed root system in there.
No, you don't think like when a bacteria dies, if there isn't a nematode to eat it?
If you tested your roots at the last day of harvest, if you could test roots or the outside of roots or somehow the ones that make it to the inside of the plant and live there, then I'm guessing that's where they're at the peak, because we're fruit tree growers and a lot of other ornamental growers, they have plants that almost never come out of the ground. So those microbes are just breeding and breeding and breeding and breeding, but they never eat all the plant's food, and then there's nothing left for the plant to uptake. It's dependent on them to eat it first, and like baby bird, puke it all out. So I don't think you could ever deplete your nutrients due to too much microbial growth or bacterial growth, especially for a cannabis plant like in 8 weeks.
Yeah, I would say you absolutely can. And the example I would give is putting wood chips inside the soil. It'll steal the nitrogen because that's the microbial digestion they're going through to
I've never put my wood chips in my soil, so I never had that problem.
No, I know. I'm just using that as an example. So you absolutely can, though. You know what I mean?
Well, I wouldn't ever do that in a container. The only thing I like about wood chips, and it's that I don't know if there's a faster way to do it, but I've seen people where they just actually make mounds of wood chips, and in like a 2 to 3 year time of moving the mound around, that's where you get. I don't get exactly what fungal dominated particular type of compost, but that's more what it has. At least that's what I thought. The broken down redwood wood chips make a fungal dominated compost.
Well, wood chips is all carbon, right?
Well, no, not all carbon.
No. but there's no nitrogen in it at all, really.
Yeah, like when you burn it off, like biochar is all carbon.
Okay.
But you burned off like the other stuff, the potassium and nitrogen.
But the reason that the wood chips end up screwing with the nitrogen is because whatever's eating the wood chips need the nitrogen, and there is none in the wood chips.
Correct.
Right.
But decomposed wood chips are good, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's already used that nitrogen to break it apart to the.
That's like, yeah, even the biochar, you got to charge it, quote, charge it.
I was just using that as an example because it's like, yeah, I mean that's something common that people have heard of and know about, like, you know, the wood.
I have definitely heard that suggested to me, but I've heard it suggested to me, but I never had the instinct to do it in the first place. So
I told you, I started putting some hemp stalk chips in the bottom of my containers.
I just started doing that, Tal. I've been.
I'm not afraid.
Stems.
Yeah.
After harvest, when you hang them and stuff, and you buck the stems, I take those stems and dry them, and then I've been chopping them up, and I'm going to use that for my mulch. See how that goes.
I've been putting a handful into my potting soil.
I'm going to get them pure certified, Tal. I'm closing loops, baby.
There you go. Close them loops. Get the human new going.
No.
Oh, dude, this one chat I'm in, I won't mention any names or anything, but yeah, they like making fun of all the bro science hippy dippy shit. Yeah. But yeah, I'm like, I'll say it again. If it might benefit the plants, and I know it's not going to hurt them, I'll institute it. I got crystals in all my water containers. I got freaking putting crystals in the soil. As long as it's not stupid expensive, like.
Just don't put wood chips in your soil, please.
Yeah, see.
See.
Did you get the 22 gemstones, Ty?
No, but I meant to.
What?
They weren't there. They weren't available. At the time
I still think you could probably get yourself a fucking wet saw and some granite. Same.
Tile guy.
You can even just rent a wet saw from Home Depot, get a block of granite, and just slice it up.
Yeah.
And then slice up
some diamonds.
I think that would be a legitimate source, though. The guys that do the granite countertops and the fucking gravestones and shit like that.
Hell yeah.
They gotta grind that stuff. That dust has to be there. They're dealing with it somehow, right?
Let's go talk.
It's in the water.
Yeah, it's in the water.
It's all in that water.
Oh, yeah.
You go to clean out that tray. It's like clay, though.
That's how I asked. I kind of hinted to Twisted one day if that's what was up. Because I guarantee you that's what happened. I think that there was a stone cutter or the tile guy was fucking that wet cutted and he dumped it in a certain spot. And they went, that spot of the lawn fucking really fucking kicks ass. That spot you're dumping your tile water in. And it would make sense. It's got, a bunch of it's at that point, it's almost water soluble. That's how fine the particles are. Should be pretty close to uptakeable, I would think. It's pasty, like clay. At that point, what's in your water?
It depends on what the tiles are made out of, the Eagle.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can cut granite or whatever.
Right, you can cut whatever, though. But yeah, the gemstones, he's cutting like, emeralds and rubies and shit.
Yeah, tell yourself that. Some in every bottle. Some gold slogger nutrients.
Just thinking, if you can grow in a golden container, why not?
I drink a lot of gold flakes in my day, man.
Gold slugger for your plants.
I left a good Goldschlager story out of my.
Bro, I bet you money hand over fist we could make it.
Oh man,
We fabricate that shit.
That's funny shit.
I
Gold
guarantee you right now.
Gold flake
You make you some Goldschlager fucking nutrients and put it in a clear bottle and throw some gold flakes in there. You're gonna get some hoity-toity motherfucker at a grow shop. That's gonna be like, that's gotta be good.
That might be
Good shit right there.
This is
Gold in it.
You gotta pay the grocery store to keep it behind the counter too, so it seems more valuable.
Yeah. Behind a lock. It's got to be locked too.
Put it in the lock case. That way it seems more valuable.
Right.
And it takes two people to open it. They need two keys. One is the master.
That's the
It's
shit.
gotta
Right
have
there.
the-
Look at they gotta have two.
It's
They
gotta
gotta
have-
have a manager to unlock
It's
that.
all
Fucking the shit right there.
and the thing that the lock that they have to undo at the register.
Fucking retinal scan and shit.
They can't. You can't even touch the bottle until it's in the bag. They'll walk into the front of the store for you.
We got some sales protocol going on right now, man. Somebody's taking notes of this shit. It's marketing 101 right there.
Shit, that is funny.
It is true, man. I think sometimes the companies do that where they're like, man, if we, we could actually sell this for $10 a bottle. But fuck, dude, if we put a $65 price on this, people would fucking think it's the shit then, Like sometimes it's like if they make it too cheap, people don't think nothing of it. It's too cheap.
I don't think it's quality, yeah.
It can't be good,
Dude, 0.001% gold and 99.999% inert ingredients. I'm making it, man.
You gotta do it, Tao.
I'll just filter out the Goldschlager gold flake, rinse it off with water, and put it in the bottle of water, and that's it, man.
I'll do a little chemistry consultation and tell you how to make aqua regia so you can dissolve gold in water.
Oh,
There you go.
Can't you just buy Gold Flake? Wouldn't it be cheaper to just buy Gold Flake and just
Get
pitch
fooled.
it in
We
a
want
bottle?
we want the plant to uptake it, right?
we can go the old school black market way. I'll just get gold spray paint.
Oh no!
You spray paint, get a squirt in the bottle.
Spray paint some tinfoil.
Shake it up.
And fuck putting the percentages on there. Just say
No, I thought you were gonna just spray paint the plant.
fucking proprietary recipe. We don't put percentages on there.
Oh shit!
We got it, man. We got this coming out next year,
That's it. I can't wait for the launch date.
right? It's gonna be Tao's icon taking a big bite out of a gold chunk.
A nugget. Just
Not a
nugget.
cookie, but a nugget.
I still think that's the fucking awesome emblem. You gotta change that earth to a cookie, Tal.
That would be sweet.
Yeah.
Somebody's
All right,
gotta
I'll
do
work
that.
on that. I gotta work on that. I can make that happen. I could do anything.
Do the cookie, and then that's your sticker. For
Except get pregnant or gay sex. Those two things will never happen.
Tao's cookies by the dozen, half dozen, whatever.
Half dozen, yeah. Half dozen.
Do a 3-pack or
Dude,
a 6-pack.
I don't want to run out for myself, so that's scary.
What?
Put up production. No worries. We'll make it happen, kid. Like I said, I could do anything.
Start hiring the kids that are not at school right now and having them cook for you.
Dude, is this ever gonna end, this bullshit? I don't even know. Like, I stopped paying attention to everything. I mean everything. I don't even know the weather. I don't care what the freaking vaccination spot is. dude, I can't. That's just such bullshit. The whole, I'm retreating into my own freaking psychosis world over here in my gardens. La, 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 la.
So let's just crack more seeds and say fuck it.
That's it. I did. I got them in the root maker from the Modern Genetics. I got them all full with seeds popping, cracking already.
The ones
seen
from
something today. Go ahead.
No, in the root maker. Remember the Modern Genetics came on and showed us the square things.
Yeah, those pots. I got you.
Yeah. I got 18 of them. 15 are the proprietary by AK Blueberry male, and I have 3 that I haven't ran this a lot. It's an OG Kush by Chem Dog D that I have in those stables that I hit with it too. I have 3 of those going, and I also hit the Time Wreck and the Bruce Banner with that male. But yeah, the OG Kush by Chem Dog D. Its sister had Herms. That's why I don't bring her out a lot, but she doesn't. The one I got doesn't, and it's just so good, dude. We made bubble hash with that shit once, and yeah. Yeah.
You only did it once, though?
Yeah, dude. 'Cause, my one buddy wants me to run bubble all the time. Fucking doesn't shut up. But I need my cookies, dude. Cookies prevail. That's number one. If I ain't got cookies, if I don't have cookies, all my trim goes to the cookies first. So, yeah, it takes some time to get the hash runs going.
Yeah, I'm overdue. I'm doing it next week when it's in the 30s. I'm doing it outside, like I've always wanted to do. Fucking, it's a must. It's a must. What I was getting ready to say before while you guys were talking was I caught a fucking episode of fucking Strain Hunters today. An old episode. God, they all look so young. It's funny you go, man. They all look so young there, man. But I seen something that just kind of struck me funny. And what it was they were in the middle of fucking nowhere. Fucking, I want to say South Africa. Middle of fucking nowhere. They were bitching about, the travel company. They gave them a car instead of a 4x4. It was struggle after struggle. They fucking showed these kids. They looked like fucking kids. I mean, it was like kids. And it's like tour guides. And they were like fucking bitching, like, showed them like stopping, going like, hey, you guys can't do this. Keep doing this to us. If it's another fucking 3 hours, tell us it's 3 fucking hours, not let's walk in 3 hours and then you tell us it's another 2 hours in another direction. We can't keep doing this shit. And so the kids are all like fucking, and again, these are fucking kids. You know what I mean? And fucking, so they finally gets to, they get their beans, they're all happy, and fucking cut to the end, and it shows them like a whole like village of fucking kids surrounded the strain hunters, and they're fucking flinging out stickers and strain hunter t-shirts. What's the t-shirts? I kind of thought, they can wear the fucking shirt, yeah, it's clothes. But they're all fucking running around with fucking and holding them up for the camera. White Widow stickers. It was all like, drug or, cannabis related and shit. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure these 10-year-olds are really great for this cannabis influence and these stickers and shit. It just seems so wrong to see all these kids running around with all these fucking cannabis strain stickers and shit. It just like it was like, oh, this is wrong. This is very wrong.
When you say kids, how young are they?
They were young. They looked like 10, 12 in the video. They were young.
This was Africa. They weren't pygmies, right?
They could have been, but I don't think so. Could have been. Could have been.
Me and my pygmy pony.
Oh man! Either way, it just didn't seem right. Just didn't seem right.
Well, better than giving them machine guns instead, Eagle.
Well,
True that.
Oh shit! Smiley's having a coughing fit.
That never happens. Yeah, I miss the Strange Hunters. Do they actually still do that without Franco, or what? Or is that all?
I don't know. I think they hunted them all before we were close. They screwed up every land race that there was.
Man, that to me, when I was watching that, it kind of fucking emphasized how important some of these strains are and some of the cuts are, you know, how special something can be like that when you're fucking willing to like travel to a fucking new country across the world, fields, deal with people you can't even talk to.
They didn't just travel that Congo one. They went fucking upriver like 9 days, dude. They were on a
Franco died.
It was whatever days, but it was stupid the fucking shit they went through to get to that place.
You risk your life.
Yeah.
There's probably if I would have,
that's wild.
I would have rented a helicopter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think they got them down there though, Tao. It's fucking.
Hey, I make things
Middle
happen.
of the
You know what I'm
Congo.
saying?
I don't know if a helicopter is the fucking at the rent-a-store.
You got to make friends with the military wherever country you want to go. That's the secret, man.
Yeah.
My favorite one of those is the India. In one of the scenes where they're rubbing the hand-rubbed hash, and the guy tells them the story about why the place, the mountaintop or the field that they're on has a certain name. And he's like, yeah, supposedly there's some bad guy in town, and he like stabbed someone when they were sleeping, and then the guy went over there, like his brother went over there and saw that the guy had like hooves for feet. So it meant that like he was the devil. And then like they named the top that city or something, or that
Diablo.
field. Yeah, this whatever dialect or language in India this little village had, they named it after that. So.
They just need some crystals.
I think Tao, you planted the crystals just so you could do that. Just start doing that. It's like, man, I gotta sneak it in somehow.
Keep the devil away, Mama will say.
I almost would like see how many times you can sneak it in on another show. Happy 420. I wish we could work out a payoff like that for every crystal so you could sneak in.
Crystal.
Oh shit. I don't know. I think that's cool. I don't know if I'm jealous of that or what.
Some grandpa smoke weed. The custom-made shirt for me.
I see that. I dig the shirt. It's the whole the bugaboo I've got is the fucking grandpa. I don't know if I'm ready to sport like a grandpa shirt yet. Oh, dude, I know I'm of that age, man, but I don't know if I'm ready to admit that shit to myself. Once you slap on that grandpa shirt, you've got to come to terms with it.
I love it, dude. I don't care.
I don't know if I'm ready. I kind of think I am, but I actually started to say that the other day And I was like, shut the fuck up, man. You're just standing right there. I don't want no like aimless, you know. I don't want them just going out and getting knocked up because like they think I want grandkids.
It's a riot, dude. He says Papa now. But he whispers it. He'll go, Papa. And he says it all quiet. It's funny. You're right. But I come in the room and he gets all excited, so it's cool.
You were waiting for that though. You were waiting for that.
I do all kinds of crazy shit just to make him laugh. I stand on my head, whatever it takes, man.
Good then. Brings out the kitty in you, I guess.
Right?
Sounds like a good thing.
Class, man.
Some Mr. Roger outfits on Eagle. I don't know if I could do some Mr. Rogers outfits.
Changing the shoes all the time would be annoying to me. But
Oh, Eagle, man.
I guess I am kind of Mr. Rogers. I got like my outside boots that I change into when I'm leaving the house. And then when I come in the house, I got my indoor shoes. So I guess I think that would be turn into Mr. Rogers.
I think that would be fucking funny, fucking Smiley, fucking the organics takeover. We'll get you one of those like leather back chairs. We'll get you a cardigan and a fucking long like Sherlock.
Sweater vests are coming back. It's some dope shit.
Eagle, man, that Agent Orange is starting to stink. Dude, that shit just overpowering.
Oh,
it overpowers the Agent Orange, yeah. It overpowers everything, dude.
Is it hand cleaner orange or is it sweet orange?
Right. Nah, right now it's a hand cleaner kind of smell. It's only about 6 weeks. Like that's the same time. It's not on right now, but man, I opened it's in the front though, right where the zipper is. Whenever I open that thing up now, it's just like bam.
Dude, the jelly beans and veg are smelling like that.
I never grew out of jelly beans.
I got
like, why even run the filter?
Smell them. I bump into them and I was like, the other day I was working around them and I'm like, bumping into him, I was like, damn, is that you, girl? Like, fucking do a stem rub on her and shit. I was like, hell yeah,
that's you.
Fuck yeah. I was excited. I'm excited, man. Them jelly beans got me excited now.
Dude, that Agent Orange was the stinkiest. Well, no, there was one other one. Or two. There was two other ones that smelled up the whole entire place, dude. I went over to this kid's house. He had it in his room in a drawer. When I opened the door, he lived in like he had to walk down like a flight of like 6 steps, to get into his place. And I opened up the door, dude. It just reeked. It just reeked. Yeah.
Do you wish we like lived in a time where that was like a badge of honor, like in public, like how bad you can make your house stink like weed and shit? Like, oh my god, dude, that's the most foulest smelling house I've ever come across. You're the fucking man.
Dude, I remember back in the day, I wanted that bubblegum strain so bad, so like I could just open up the car door and it would be like smelling like bazooka and not have to worry about it.
Oh yeah.
I thought about that way back when.
So, it's fun. I guess we sneaked it in. You need to say something, Red Pill? I don't mean to cut you off, bro.
Just going off that same thing, and if there's any truth to what dogs are trained to hit on is beta-caryophyllene. Supposedly, I don't know if that's true, but breeding a strain where you get to a point where it's completely void of any of that, theoretically would do what Tao is saying, because you don't got to worry about it if whatever the dog's trained to trigger on, isn't even there. Because they, especially anyone that doesn't know, and is quite as involved, you know, or doesn't know it on an everyday basis, they all think that weed has a universal smell, right? So they think that they're training dogs on the universal smell of weed, but that's not the case. The dog supposedly what it's smelling the most and what it, you know, eh, it's beta caryophyllene. So if you got rid of that terpene, then, you know, maybe you could test the same exact thing. You know, you can just test and see if it doesn't smell anything, or it doesn't care if it just thinks it's any old ordinary thing that it's not trained to give any indication on. Then that'd be pretty good. I mean, maybe not for long, because maybe things will get better, but if this happened 20 years ago, it'd be great. But I think
Right.
people, they did that in a way where they didn't know so much exactly if, like I'm saying, it was very beta caryophyllene. There was supposedly a time where breeders engineered weed to be a less, you know, terpene rich. And by doing so, if you're all out, you know, lowering terpenes, no matter which one they are, then you're at that same time lowering the amounts of caryophyllene.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
all.
funny you bring up that in particular terp, because I think that's the one responsible for what I was getting ready to talk about. Anywho, is I started. I had to pull down that the manje, the manja, the manja delight,
Menage,
right?
menage,
That's right.
menage a delight.
Menanja, menanja
Like
delight.
menage a trois.
So yeah, I still would fuck it up.
Oh my god.
So I know, right?
Just call her Maggie. Just call her Maggie. We're
Just
good.
call it
Call it Maggie.
Zippo Head Lobo.
So
Zipiolio.
I had to pull her down because she fucking I let her I underestimated her. She probably could have went about another week and a half, and she fucking collapsed on herself. So I had to take her down. She just fucking she's pretty good.
She
Pretty
shit
good looking
herself.
girl.
She shit herself.
Yeah, she shit herself. So, and I think that's a possibility. But so, what do you think is the terps on that? What are the terps? It kind of fits the name, I'll tell you that, because I was like, even when I had her, because it wasn't as pungent when she was in the tents as when I pulled her out and had her in the center of the room. And all day long, as I've been walking around this thing, every time I come in the room, it's like, woof. So, what am I smelling that could possibly? What do you think you pick up on a strain? The manja.
I don't know if you ain't
Delight.
liking it. I never had it. But is it
Oh,
baby
it
shit?
should be good. It's pungent. To me, it smells like fucking because like you say, the manja toi still fucked it up. So
Menage a trois.
3-way makes you think of the sex there, but
It smells
so
like
what
a
it
wet-
smells like is
it smells like
it smells
a
like bo. It smells like fucking bo and fucking onion. It's like the terps that kind of come off, or and you kind of fucking, for me, it's that beta caryophyllene, that peppery, really peppery kind of funk, like, oh man, that bo kind of smell that's really pungent upon her.
Smells like
And
a
for
Burger
me,
King
that's
muffin.
usually a fucking real high anxiety, a real heady strain, and that's what she described was, a super heady sativa that kind of hit you hard, that kind of made you shit yourself. So
Seems like meth.
I'm picking up on it, even like whiffing on it. I can feel it like up in the temples. I've only had one other strain that hit me like that, Jack Straw, and that shit gave me anxiety. I could hardly fucking smoke it. That was like. I had one patient, he'd go, that shit's great for my anxiety. And I'd be like, practically fucking, here's the whole plant. There you go. We're good for a minute.
Got it, buddy.
Yeah, we're good for a minute. You let me know when you run out. We'll figure it out.
You know what's funny about that is I have that reaction to super silver haze if it's good. To me, that's the most like kryptonite type weed for me. Like I don't want any of that. I'll smoke it and fucking almost get depressed. That's how fucking much anxiety it gives me.
Yeah, I was thinking the
Fine
menage
line.
is gonna smell like
Yeah.
X-Lax. There you go.
X-Lax.
Did you hear that?
Smells like
The story on that is supposed to make you shit yourself.
Which one?
The one that
Social
Eagle's
Reach?
talking about, that Menage when he
Oh,
smoked.
hell no. I haven't heard that backstory.
Okay, yeah, that was the backstory. That's why I thought he was gonna say it smelled like X-Lax.
Is it like cocaine, you know? You got to go
that's
to the
why I
bathroom every
said
5
baby
minutes?
poo.
No, like, yeah, I guess it's supposed to make you shit your pants. I don't know.
It's so racy that's what I'm taking. That it part of the lineage on the one side is claimed to be so racy it actually makes you shit yourself.
Hey, you
Not
know the
gonna get
last
me. I
strain,
don't trust farts.
the last
Shark.
strain that I've actually had that with was, I think it's either Redheaded Stranger or Redheaded Sister.
What, where you shit yourself, Red Pill?
No. The
Oh.
racy, good old school sativa high.
I'm just messing.
No. Okay. It's no, I think it was either called Redheaded Sister or Redheaded Stranger. It was Tom Hill's Haze with Williams Williams Wonder. Yeah.
Ooh, I bet you that was killer.
Really good weed. It's back on my Instagram. I'll try to tag you later in it or something. But
All right, cool.
those were really good buds. Really good bud structure. Really good trichomes. It would make good screen hash, dry sift hash. Like I said, I liked everything about it. And it had one of those great terpenes, not so much on the peppery side, but the dill pickles.
Yeah, I've had that
dilly.
before.
Yeah, I like that. I love that.
Eagle, you gonna buy a box of Depends before you start smoking that stuff?
It's funny you ask about that, Tom, because it's
Yeah, you already got a box.
no, but it's talk about shitty timing. Let's talk about shitty timing here. I am fucking me and Canna will have words if it is fucking, because call it bad luck or whatever, but the way things have worked out, the Manje Delight or whatever, the Maggie, we'll call it whatever, fuck, is what I'm like stuck with right now. So that's what, you know what I mean? I don't want to be stuck shitting myself for like a solid 2 weeks because that's all I've had to smoke is the strain and shit. You see me like in a week just thin as a wafer for fucking just, god damn that fucking shit.
So that plant has a brown zip tie on it, right?
Dude.
That plant has a brown zip tie on it, right?
Some strains will open your third eye, Ego. That one opens your brown eye.
Brown eye.
Open the brown eye.
Oh, dude, that's hilarious. Yeah, man, I want the brown
I'm telling
eye
you
stuff.
Yeah, well, if there's true to that, if this is true, like I said, you figure in the rotation of it all, it's gonna make my brown eye blue.
Not black and blue, brown and blue.
Oh no! I'm telling you, I'm gonna be just bumming. Because we're just like days away now. I chopped her down, so we're just days away from fucking knowing if I'm gonna have to fucking endure this. No, it's hanging. The herbs now is dry.
It's hanging like Dinkleberry.
Are you gonna start eating a lot of crackers and cheese and like stuff like that?
Fibering up on it.
Make sure you plug yourself up before.
No, yeah.
Fuck, man, I don't want to fucking. Smiley's got me fucking shitting walking sticks and making my toilet gag. And
Day
shit.
3 is gonna be like I had to slow down on the coffee.
Do you have any strains that induce constipation? Maybe like the CBD of this THC poop weed. You know?
You gotta smoke it. You gotta smoke it on a live, so when you start laughing real hard, and you also go, "Oh."
Well, I've heard that cannabis, if you eat a large amount, I've heard like 1,000 milligrams will bind you up anyway. But say So do you eat 1,000 milligrams of this in particular strain? Are you like, is that a firecracker edible? Just binds you up
Firecracker
until it
flush.
can't take you anymore. Yeah. Is that the true cannabis firecracker right there? I don't know. Oh man. These are all things I'm hoping not to find out in the next few days.
Maybe it is the cough that gets you. Maybe Chad's right. It's the cough. Cough shard. Yeah.
Have you ever done that though? I've done that and it's painful. I used to fucking that used to be my morning joy. I used to roll one up and just sit on the fucking shitter with fucking one elbow on there, fucking. And I tell you what, I have coughed out a biscuit. It is fucking painful, painful, fucking painful. I'm sure there was tearage. There definitely was a tear involved. I do not suggest it. I do not suggest it. Wait till after. Wait till after.
Killing me. Oh, that was totally not. It's totally the wrong, different direction, but yeah.
TMI.
Killing me.
Chad's fucking funny.
I don't know where to go from there.
Whatever keeps you regular, Eagle.
Right.
That's funny.
Oh man. You know, a good dab will do
anywhere
that to you too. That's a very good first day of the morning thing.
Good dad when you get
Just
like
like
the snot
coffee.
nose and the fucking runny eyes and shit.
Mhm.
Gasping for a breath.
That's funny.
I hope someone didn't do that. I hope that's not how they actually chose a phenotype. They sat there and scientifically went through hundreds of strains and all different 10 packs, grew them all out, and they're like, okay, I'm looking for this very specific, effect that I'm going after, and I'm going to breed all the strains together
Fuck
to do.
me.
You gotta
What'd you
call it
do,
a shard,
Joe?
dude. If you
I
breed
just
a strain-
dropped my fucking piece, just shattered on the floor.
What?
No.
Yeah.
Ah,
Motherfucker, dude.
that sucks, man. Should we play like a song of like?
I was just thinking to
Play the
myself
dab
how
song
I
backwards.
cleaned it yesterday or the day before. I was just thinking how awesome it is.
You just cleaned it. That's fucking Murphy's Law right there, isn't it?
I should have never cleaned the fucker. Fuck. I'm just looking at it shattered on the floor. Everything, the bowl,
That sucks, man.
the pull out is shattered.
No, you can't smoke out of the. No, you can't use that bong.
No, it's
That
fucking. I could see fucking 50 pieces at least. Motherfucker.
See, if it was like one of them carb caps, at least you could still smoke it. It just wouldn't be as improvised something there, right?
So all I had left of the one I broke on there is the carb cap I still got. The last piece I broke. That sucks though.
Fucking rig on air. Shit. That sucks.
It does look like a nice little bubbler too.
Yeah. See, this was attached. The green thing was attached to that. This one might still be able to.
I would say one thing though, Tao, you don't fuck around, man. When you set out to do something, you just fucking do it right.
Yeah. all the way with
Not gonna
nothing.
fuck around, huh?
That's it. Oh, my poor baby.
That sucks. So you gonna get one tomorrow then, or?
Tomorrow, the next day. That's close. Yeah. It's a necessity at this point. I love that thing, dude.
You're not
won
a
that.
joint smoker, are you?
I am, but I can't be rolling them constantly. It's just so much easier. I like packing bubbler. I like the bubbler too. The bong is too big sometimes, you know. That thing could go wherever I want it to.
Yeah, I like the nice little ones like that.
I mean, a good 12-inch bong though is good for or more. 2-footer is good every once in a while. Definitely, don't get me wrong. But
I
yeah,
don't have to launch for a 2-footer anymore.
the Daily Runner was that thing, man. That thing was I love that thing. I won that on Pacololo Perps. I must have hit him up like 4 times, telling him how much I use that thing on the daily. I love that thing. That's right. I'll find one very similar. That's all.
I have I got a little pipe that I got from ChemDog cleaning right now that took forever to clean because I had it since 2015 and never soaked it in alcohol. Just, I mainly only dab. So once in a while, when I did have flour, I'd smoke out of that. And it took about 5 years to get clogged shut. So I've been soaking that.
Dude, that's probably not healthy smoking it when it gets that dirty, dude.
Well, hey. That
444.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Does it start leaking? The worst part's when it starts leaking out the end, like by the mouthpiece. Where
The goober?
No, I never had that problem. I had
Scooby on your lips.
But...
Dude, I've had ones that are so dirty, like you could smoke it when there's nothing in the bowl.
Yeah, that's how this was.
Yeah.
It got me through tough times. That's it's good to hold on to. I'm not too. I still I went through that. I remember when I went through that, I'm like, man, I haven't smoked fucking res out of a pipe in like fucking 8 years.
For good reason, too.
Right.
Yeah. If you smoke good weed out of it, a lot of hash, that's
what its original. Its original purpose was to be. I wanted to get those cordless, make expensive ones like an Ember, but if you look around, you actually find like tools of the trade, a cordless soldering iron. You don't have to buy a weed branded one. You can buy an actual whatever's real world application one, and it's like a quarter of the price. But I wanted to use that as a hash pipe, and I wanted to even only smoke chem and sour strains out of it, but that was too hard to do. And I got like I said, have weed, no pipe. Got that one. It's not sour diesel, but here we go. And it's getting whatever polluted or in whatever invasive species strains resin inside the pipe.
Dirty resin.
Yeah, I wanted to keep it it's a ChemDog glass pipe. I wanted to keep it only ChemDog or ChemDog.
Yeah,
that would have been cool.
Yeah,
that would have been cool if you had some self-discipline, Red Pill.
I don't, but I don't. It's not just the self-discipline though. It's partially self-discipline and not having the readily available ChemDog all the time on demand like that. I wish my life was like that. That would give me some discipline if my life was that happy. It'd be in paradise.
Yeah, it'd almost have to be one strain you're growing yourself for sure.
I think I grew, if you count, I've grown Sour Kush and I've grown Space Dog. My buddy did have a really good Chem 91 clone, but that's the one he wouldn't trade and was all possessive about. I gave him the best thing I had in my garden before the factory's like, oh no, I don't give my ChemDog clone to anyone.
You should have visited him with a pocket full of pollen and hit up that chem one with something that you would think it might work good.
Back to me, he's like, something went wrong, man. My ChemDog seeded out. Here, you take it.
Or just be like, I'll take some of those ones with the seeds. That's all right.
Yeah, that's how my first plant started. Is I already had smoked the weed in the weed circle, and had it hit me really strong, and someone was pulling seeds out of the bag, and I'm like, I'm gonna hold on to those seeds because if this weed is that strong and it's seeded, it's worth growing seeds from.
Yep. I heard the story on the Eagle show.
I just cracked a few bag seeds. I've never really had the bag seeds pop out with any kind of like hybrid vigor though. Like they don't seem to do as, just for me, I guess it seems like.
That would probably indicate more that it's sometimes more likely it's an S1, because let's say if you have two plants that are totally different and they would make a hybrid if bred, if it does get pollen from one plant to another, then that seed would be, a result of two different parents rather than an S1 a seed pulled out of the same place it got the pollen from.
Yeah, well, if everybody in that garden, if the guy's growing, he likes chemdog, and they're all chemdog crosses or similar plants, it could end up with something that's the same, non-vigorous, but from a different one. But you're probably right. It's usually
I like that vigor though, man. That hybrid is pretty. Like it's kind of hard to explain, but it's fucking beautiful plants when you see it.
I'm telling you, I think that's why. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to hit the blueberry with the cheesequake, because I knew that the subcool never had any blueberry in any of the strains, so I knew that would add something different and maybe make it pop.
He only made one time that was called Batgirl. It was a JTR to blueberry.
Ah, okay. See, there you go. I didn't even.
And that was the
really
reason.
Realize that.
That was the reason he made those, and he steered away from blueberries because the trait that they most displayed was a thicker and more less hot. It was a thicker, more sturdier stem, and it wasn't hollow. And if he was going off his notes where he was selecting males, and one of the traits he was looking for is hollow stems, because someone had indicated that it goes back into finding the reverse of what happens in nature and what makes hemp species dominant and intersex species dominant, and how plants can acclimate in just a couple of years if you leave them alone to breed by themselves, versus doing male selection, picking the very last male to indicate sex and other traits, mainly the hollow stem ones. They said that that's a direct recessive trait because hollow stem or low fiber producing plants would be the opposite of a dominant hemp species, ones that have thicker, more sturdier hemp fiber producing hemp stalks. So the blueberry bred in the thicker, more hardy stems. So they were bad to do further selections from because he was never finding the males that he wanted out of that seed stock.
Yeah, well, I don't think he was thinking right, because that blueberry is good shit.
Oh yeah.
So,
but blueberry, does it have more capability to support itself, would you say?
I don't know really, because the ones that I actually had back in the day, they held up on their own outside.
Yeah, me too. I grew a blueberry outside. It was DJ Short's blueberry. I grew it. Yeah, big, and it was a good outside. This was in Wisconsin too, so it went completely purple, the whole plant. But yeah, it had a very strong center stem that supported the whole plant in any kind of wind or beating up damage it got.
Yeah, mine had I topped it, or it got topped on its own, whatever. It had all of them they were only about as tall as me, and they all had multiple heads on it, but they all stood up on their own and did good outdoors, really good. I like that shit a lot. That's why I got it again. I'm pretty sure everything labeled blue. You know what? I don't know though. I have to ask the AK Beans Brains guy. But I would assume he started with the DJ Short shit.
Or you could get the one from Lemon Hoko too and work that in.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna steal everybody's good blueberries and just cross them all against each other just for the fun of it.
Dude, I've got. I think I've still got some of the beans. But I suggest if you're looking for a blueberry, I mean something that like punch you in the face, fucking blueberry, the most blueberry. And I've had some good blueberries, like back in the 90s, like 96 was one of the first most fruitiest strains I ever had was a blueberry.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was good, really good. But the Coma Creations, both of them spelled with a K on Instagram. He was a tester for sub, and he's got a blueberry, and I ran both. The blueberry quintessenta was his CBD version, and the quintessenta was so fucking blueberry that I had the original blueberries, the IBJ, I think that's right, the inbred line, yeah,
Okay.
IBL, it's a J, IBL, the blueberry IBL. I had that, which was part of the cross for the blueberry quintessenta. And the quintessenta was so blueberry, I went back and popped the IBL. And that IBL is just, whew, it dripped blueberry. I mean, anything, it was just overpowering. So if you're looking for a good, true blueberry,
Is it still
that's where I
available?
would. We might. I mean, he's still on Instagram. He took a little hiatus, but I know
Smiley,
he's still. I know I've got a few beans of it. If you can't get a hold of him.
Well, see, my most blueberry experience was with a bring back that Dutch Passion made. Supposedly they had made it for a while, discontinued it, and then they brought it back. It was a seed promotion on Attitude, Blue Velvet. And apparently the story is it was originally made by DJ Short, but it had it had 50% of the original blueberry genetics. Only difference was either, and I don't know this, either the different male or the different female. I think it was a male, either an Afghani or a female Afghani, which is different than the Nepali to Thai, which makes the DJ Short blueberry. But I grew those out, and I only grew 3 out of a 10-pack. And all 3 of them, and I didn't grow the rest of the 10-pack. I just started the 3 seeds, and all 3 of them were so good that I wouldn't be able to determine a keeper from there. And they all 3 had different traits. I'd say the best one was the most green, or the solid green pheno, that had like the artificial blue raspberry flavor, like the stuff that turns your lips and your teeth and all that blue. That had probably the nicest nugs, actual like on the plant and cured, nicest trichomes, all green, the blueberry, artificial blueberry taste, but the lowest yielding. And then the heaviest yielding had the reverse traits, where it had more of the darker tones of blueberry, like more like the DJ Short, just plain old DJ Short blueberry that I grew that was outdoors and went all purple. It had more of like the woody, cedary, darker, less fruity purple associated terpenes. And that one kind of had a cool trait where it turned purple from the top down. So the top nugs were purple, and the further down on the plant, it went solid green. It had like a fade where you trim the fan leaves off and the sugar leaves off, and you're down to just the nug, and then you see the progression of purple nugs on the top bud and the green nugs, solid green nugs on the bottom nug. And then another interesting one was, and I think it only changed as much color as it was because it was directly in front of the intake to the tent that was sitting right in front of the exhaust to the air conditioner. But it had the most sativa expression of all of them. Still had a real nice like column shaped nug structure where there wasn't no gaps in the inner nodes, but the leaves on that one turned solid burgundy, like red burgundy, and more of like a lavender light purple nug structure. But and had more of like a less of a blueberry and more of a like lavender lilac terpene to it. But I just thought that weed was so good because what were those 7 other seeds like that I didn't even grow? Out of that 10-pack. I only grew 3 of them, and I couldn't make up my mind which one was better.
So grow those 7 now, kid.
Yeah.
The one that I had where the sunlight wouldn't hit the plant, Like if the leaf was across the stem, it would be green underneath the leaf, but everything else was purple or reddish. It was totally bizarre. Stems and everything.
My sweet thing does that. Like if I go through and I cut the leaves out, if it was shaded, wherever it was shaded, it'll be bright green.
Isn't that bizarro?
Yep, and then if I cut that leaf a few days later, it'll go to that purplish look.
That's crazy.
Chameleon.
But yeah, that shit was good. It did really well outside. That's the one I said. The plant, one of the other plants next to it, the leaves were the plant got botrytis, and one of the botrytis leaves fell onto the blueberry, a bud of the blueberry plant, and the blueberry plant was unaffected by it, dudes.
Are those quintessential seeds that you still have? Are those regular? Or
yes, they were regular seeds. Yes.
The blue velvet I had is feminized. If my buddy still has that, do you want me to grab that? So at least one of you guys can do something with it.
I'll pop it eventually.
That's how I always pop seeds.
I gave, when I got all my seeds taken, I had 50% of it, and the 50% that I did have, I kept my favorite 50%, and then I gave to one of my cousins and one of my buddies the rest of it. And the leftover 7 out of 10 seeds went to my one buddy. And like I said, I don't know if he grows out my gear. He kind of held on to it. There's other seeds that I gave him, and he either hasn't stopped growing the stuff that he had back when I got busted, or he moved on to the lava cake that he has now.
Right.
But I don't know if he goes through the seeds that I gave him.
If he did it already, right? Hey, right. Smiley, you growing some of those blueberry crosses today?
The blueberry crosses? What do you mean?
The blueberry by Cheesequake. Did I ever send you any of those seeds?
I didn't see any seeds in there.
No, I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I don't know. No, yeah, I didn't, I guess, then.
Or allegedly. I didn't see any in there, though, but
no. So
do you have medically fit?
Oh, yeah, you're doing the Godiva ones.
I got the Godiva ones. I got a few. The Freak Show's the hollow stem one.
Oh, yeah, but I think that hollow stem story got mixed up. On one of the, I think I have a post of it on my IG. I'll see if I can find it. Because the one of the editions of the book that information is in, the pictures for figure A and figure B was switched, even though the words wrote it properly. I'll see if I can find it.
Fit pop in chat there. Shout out Medically Fit. Morning, my friend.
Oh, Medfit, what's up, kid? He's got the link, right?
Yeah, he should.
Oh, it does.
Should.
Mm-hmm.
Then before. It's 5 o'clock. Shit, I'm about ready to jump out. Just ruining all the fun, though, man.
Everybody follows you out. They do.
I know.
I like to give you shit about it too when you fucking get off too. I don't know if you listen to that
to make
part.
the move for redpill. I'm like, that ain't me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's funny is I've tried to make that move once or twice, and everybody looks like, "What the fuck, man? We showed up in everything. You're just gonna fucking end it like that, huh?"
Hey, if it's those psilocybin tinctures, that's acceptable.
Yeah, I skipped the tincture tonight. I went with just the capsules. I didn't do the tincture tonight. That tincture hit me strong the other night, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I made the mistake. There was one thing I did that I don't usually do, or wasn't, is usually I will take what's in the dropper and I'll squeeze that back into the bottle, and then I give it a good shake. And before I take that dropper. This time I didn't. I shook it, but I didn't extinguish what was in the dropper out first.
Mm. You had some
So I'm wondering if
residual
that's
crystallization inside there, huh? When it
yeah,
dried
I
out,
think that's
nobody
what
left
happened.
some little bit of whatever the last drop.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Eagle got the bop bop.
Yeah, it would. Smiley, I was talking about that earlier, man. That shit came on strong, man. Fucking, it came to like 420 checkout. Right about this time you got what you're talking about, and I was fucking. It was just fucking hitting hard, and I was thinking, oh, please don't go, guys. Please don't go. There's no fucking way I'm doing shout. I was so it was hitting so hard, man. I was thinking, there's no fucking way I'm doing shout outs. There's no way I could have done shout outs at that moment. Fucking no way.
Can't leave the sweat
Luckily,
line.
it dragged down.
As long as you got that
What's-
back screen up, you can just fade into it like that fucking meme.
Yeah.
Like Homer.
That would be some funny shit, man. I wish I didn't have shit back there. That would be funny.
All right, man. I'm gonna jump out though. It was awesome hanging, guys. Probably catch you tomorrow night. If not,
Nice
we'll see you.
Peace out, Smiley.
So, peace out, Tal. Red pill, good
Oh,
hair.
yeah, I can't forget about
Yep.
that. Peace out.
Nice one.
Good one. Mr. Smiley. Good luck,
Yeah,
dude.
I found the link to that hollow stem thing. I put it in the chat over there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
That's an insight. I'll definitely. I haven't done extensive enough breeding to go through seed stock made by us, selecting one of those males to determine for myself to see right in front of my face if that's one of the best traits to pick for. But
Right, well,
I am conditioned to do that now because
yeah, I'll say, dude, I had killer weed.
Is it saying? Are you saying to select for it? Is that what you're saying, Tom?
Males with hollow stem, and especially pay even close attention to the diameter of the hole in the center of the stem, in ratio to the widthness of the actual stem wall, exterior to the interior of that hole. And I've found even ones that might be even better are ones that have a larger ratio of a center hole, a bigger hole, and a thinner stem wall.
Yeah, but a lot of that could change with environment, probably, right, Bill?
It can, but the exact trait itself, environment won't make a hollow stem plant filled. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
It'll change. It'll shrink or dilate the.
Right.
That. So.
What I'll say is, I had killer weed that had hollow stems, and I had
might be
weed that had
walled,
thick
though.
stems.
Yeah, I think Tal's right in a little bit of that, Red Pill. I think it may be thicker wall. It may not fill it in, but I think if you were to cut it, you know what I mean, and do a cross section, I think that structure around the outside would be much, much thicker. And I say that is just because in this incident, like right now, the side by side with the earth boxes versus the cocoa and salts is the ones in the earth boxes. And they're the same strain, they're the same clone. All four of them are the same clone. And the ones in the earth boxes show a way thicker stems. So I think Tal's right. Their environment, well, maybe not so much in this case, environment, moreover, medium could play a structure in that. Because if they were grown in the soil, the organic soil, man, them plants were night and day. They were bushier. The fucking branches were much, much thicker. The overall trunk of the plant was way thicker, and versus the same plants
So
in salts, they look way more spindlier. You know what I mean?
that can
Way,
happen, but when you do narrow it down to if you can grow it in multiple environments and it's the same trait displayed, what the argument I'm making is that that trait displays recessive genetics that hemp plants don't have. Hemp plants are low THC bearing plant. So if you wanted to drive the genetics more towards high THC or terpene rich plants, the hollow stem plants supposedly do that because it's a trait that you can never breed. You can never breed thin wall hollow stem plants for high fiber production. I mean, you could, but it'd be the same as like us growing plants that have low THC when we want high THC. You get what I mean?
Yo, Red Pill, you check out the link that I put in there because I think you got it backwards. Because if you want the fiber, the hollow stem, that's where you're going to get the most fiber from.
You think so? But that's
Listen,
mean. If you measure,
I'm
hold on,
telling you,
that's why
I
there's a
think it's
secondary thing to it. That I said the diameter of the hole itself,
right.
when that's larger than the stem wall itself.
Okay.
You know, then when you're doing that, then you're just producing low yielding fiber plants. The thinner the wall, the less fiber there'll eventually be, to where if you can just breed a plant that somehow genetically doesn't make cellulose on the outside of the stem, you know, it would be a mutant plant that probably wouldn't make it past the seedling stage. But that is a, you know, the very opposite of what you would expect out of a hemp plant that can withstand wind, never fall over, topple over, have sturdy enough branches not to break if anything drops on it, or heavy yielding buds or anything, that kind of condition that we have problems with. And I would say that's probably almost happens with many, many cultivars that we have today, that you need trellises and stakes and everything to support up for that fact. It's hard to support a lot of cannabis plants that we have access to because they've been bred more towards I just didn't want to throw around the term that Robert Clark uses in marijuana botany, but he calls it drug type cannabis.
Yeah.
So,
But with the hollow stem and the other stem, I'm telling you, I think it's just a total misconception that was, but they just found that the hemp plants have one kind, and well, you know what? I don't know. But like I said, I know I've had.
It's probably missing information that I don't have. You get what I mean?
Yeah. But I know I've had killer, strong, potent hollow stem weed and strong, potent solid stem weed without a doubt. Yeah. So.
See, it's not the only trait to select for. Like I said, I also
hollow stem seems to be more neurotic.
Yeah.
Is in a buzz, more couch lot is what I've noticed as far as
I haven't paid attention to that fine of a detail, because the next thing I was going to mention is the other traits to select for. The one that maybe you can, another article maybe you can find, is plant selection for not slowest maturation, but latest to identify gender, you know, either male, female, or intersex. And the other thing I always thought for, and the note that Subcool had written down, is the world has more disservice of intersex or Hermes species of plants due to people selecting earlier, or the first to show male. And the opposite to that was to breed more the, you know, female, true female, non-intersex plants that you get with the later sex indicating plants. And that's based on, out in nature, there's no one to do the selection. So the very first males to grow up, make pollen, throw pollen, are the very first to get the other females around it to bear seeds. So that way, either by the late season or the later showing males never being able to out dominate the earlier showing males by getting their spores to hit pistils because they've already been hit by those earlier hit males. That's where you get the acclimation in your wherever these plants are being grown, because that's the very first genetics or most dominant traits on a plant, because it always wants to be able to survive and adapt to that environment. Whereas if you breed against that, you have less stable plants to grow outdoors, but you have better resinous, other, medicinal or drug type properties. And
That was
more.
always my understanding is the late flowering male was the one that brought the higher THC to the table.
There's more.
Sure.
We have more
That's what you
consensus
say.
on that then, because that's kind of way harder to pin down to environment. Did environment make this plant show sex late? That's less likely than the plant that you feed different or having a different medium causing
Well, I
thicker.
mean, if you were like, say, popping a pack of 10, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you had 3 males to show, and 2 of them expressed themselves a week earlier than the third, you'd want to take the third because
one,
he would
yes,
be producing a higher THC content.
And then if you want to even go further, what I thought too is it's a kind of a flip-flop thing, and then this is all maybe towards preference and exactly how we interpret sense of smell, but it's reverse in how you would think a male should, maybe, in a cologne sense, smell masculine or more darker masculine type terpenes, where in this case, I've always heard that you want to have males that display more feminine, more fruity, more floral, that kind of bouquet of terpenes, versus males that have more of like the OG diesel gassy type terpenes. And they broke it down to saying that the males that display the gassy terpenes don't pass down in lineage or don't pass over that trait to the females. So if you breed a gassy male to a fruity female, you always can expect more fruity females from that offspring than you'll find gassy males. Versus if you were to breed a fruity male to a gassy female, across the board, you still see more fruity phenotypes because those are the ones that are the first ones to be expressed.
Good stuff.
Damn. I'm smoking on a bowl now. It is not the same fucking bullshit.
These are all things like you can't expect to go find actual true still, if there's still like cannabis refugia still left over from like the last ice age that's growing somewhere, it's very it would be very unlikely that it has a terpene profile that's attractable to us in like a very fruity sense, but then also makes it susceptible to insects. Otherwise it wouldn't last. So the more wild the plants are, the more maybe offensive the odors would be, because those are the ones that are making it insect tolerant. And that goes why you want to pick males that smell like fruit, because going back to the recessive genes in drug type cannabis, all those other ones that I named are ones that make it more susceptible to being fucked up in nature, needing hands to nurture it and breeding more drug types. So that's just the way I always looked at it. It would be nice if
That's
you could just go ahead.
That's what me and Genetic Memory Farms, when I had him on one episode, his episode, as a matter of fact, we discussed the skunk, same thing, the skunk. And what we came out of that conversation is the same thing, and kind of what you're talking about is it wasn't necessarily, I'm sure it had a lot of combination with bringing it indoors and the no carbon filters, and people not wanting to grow it because it was so loud. That may have played some into it, but we think more of it is because at that time period, most of the cannabis that was being grown and bred outdoors, flat out. So you had the environment, just like you're discussing there, that brought out that trait in the wild. In the wild, it brought out the skunk because it was trying to defend itself from whatever it could have been in that region or outdoors. And then once we started bringing it indoors, or if it did make it indoors, it kind of got dumbed down because it didn't have that environment to fight against anymore.
Hey,
It
plants
was,
they're way smarter than
I
we give
think,
them credit for. A
I'm sure
plant
they
can
are, but
adapt.
I think we're
They can ad-
dumbing down plants by indoor breeding because of what we're
well, this
talking
is what I
about,
mean.
though.
This is what I mean. Plants, the whole relationship with, oh, maybe if they have a mycorrhizal connection, maybe a plant further away down the line, not even related to the plant sitting next to it, can send messages to the plant if it's getting gnawed on by a predator or something. So think of this. But deers will eat your weed out in the wild. Deers do that. Now skunks will spray a deer if encroached upon, right? So how crazy could it be if you're in an environment that has naturally habitating skunks and the plants observe the fact that these deers don't like the odor of a skunk and stay away from it, and they get eaten by the deer, they could possibly be, this is the brain within the plant that we don't know and understand. They could make odors as close to or as near to a skunk to help protect it from predation against deer.
I wonder, with that being said, I wonder if you could either play your environment or just grow it outdoors to bring that skunk back out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? In a deer environment like that.
Yeah.
Or I wonder if you could take a skunk leaning strain just like that and maybe, take some artificial deer spray like the hunters use to kind of bring in
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
bucks. Maybe spray it around your room and actually make that scent, you know,
I
visible
think that's
for the
crazy
plants to
talk.
work against it. Yeah, it could be, but
I
it's
don't
Who
working
knows?
know.
along the same lines of what we're talking
Yeah.
Well, let me put it
outdoors.
like this. You know what I think? Like the Happy 420 somewhere.
Happy 420.
I think that Godiva, the Godiva, and I think maybe even the Godbud. I don't know. I don't know, but I know the Godiva. If I grow it outside, it'll get the pink pistils. But when you grow it inside, it doesn't because of the UV light. So maybe if you're talking about outdoor stuff, having the skunk smell, maybe that has something to do with it all on its
So,
own.
well, and I agree. This is what today's lesson will learn. I like to try to learn something every day. I actually listen to a lot of fucking books. But what Red Pill 710 up here is saying is very true. I believe plants do have brains. They're very, I don't know if I'd say brain, but they are very intelligent. Do you know violets necessarily, a violet can't process its own nutrients? It robs from other plants that are around it through the microsystem. It finds which ones are rich and robs from nearby plants. Is how it gets all its nutrients. It's
I did
not
not know that.
necessarily breaking down
I,
anything itself.
I learned that today. Thank you for the lesson.
Where'd you pick it up? I wonder if that's the same place I picked it up.
Picked it up from you. No.
Man, I don't know. I can't pinpoint that. I want to say the guy that wrote the Teaming by Microbes book, a lecture that
Jeff
he gave.
Lowenfeld.
Yeah. I want to say at least I might have heard it before then, but when it got imprinted in my mind, it was probably that.
I actually think I learned it in a psychology book today. Referring to like intelligent, other intelligent things. I think it actually had nothing to do with plants. Actually, I swear I got it. If I
Makes it more interesting.
have to look at my Audible to see what I listen to. I don't think I listened to any like plant, like grow shows today. I think it was just an Audible day. Dealing with difficult people, or how to be heard. How to be heard is what I listen to today. I don't see the connection though. I have to go back and listen to it.
Well, the microbes, they hear each other, right? They're like, "Hey, you listening over there? Let's jack
That
these
could have
fucking
been.
mutes."
You know what? That could have been it. It could have been it. The connection of actually hearing each other and communicating. That might have been the connection right there. Good
Yeah.
catch.
So those are the three male selection traits, and that could be all the same things I just said, but from a female and reversing it too. But the feminine smell, hollow stems, and latest to show sex. There's other things you can add into there, but those are the main three things that are going to impress me if I find. If I see trichomes on a plant, and if I look under a scope or a macro lens, and I actually see stalks and glandular head trichomes on a male, then that's even better. It has all those three other traits. So.
Holy cow, this joint's getting me. Man, I can't believe I've watched you dab the last couple of days, but there, redpill. Man,
Yeah.
you do some serious dabs over there, brother. You ain't messing around.
It's a little bit because you're seeing me dab the distillate, and there's no magic to it. It's plain distillate. The analogy of it being like moonshine wouldn't quite fit, because with terpenes, it's more like just a monotone. It does the medicinal job, but there's no like there's no characteristics of a high. You know what I mean?
No body to the high.
So I tend to I treat it as like milligrams, and it's just amount of milligrams I'm getting in my system. I could use less milligrams of THC if I was supplementing with terpenes, but I just don't have the access to what I would be picky and be snobby about, and having some really good live resin, applesauce type texture. But other than that, then yeah, I mean, I like flower just as much, but also don't have anything in the ballpark that I can have access to, that I would only smoke flower if I could get it. Soon, though. Soon. Like I said, my dad has a buddy that wants to grow down in Illinois, and I can help grow for him. So that'd be nice.
You do get growing very soon.
They have a low plant count, so there wouldn't be much dedication to doing pheno selection. I would probably just get my hands on the best clone I can get. Just one mother.
Yeah. Eagle.
Yes, sir.
K-Bag's in chat right now. Did you schedule him for a show yet?
No.
All right.
Unless he's scheduled under a different name.
Try and talk him.
Somebody yesterday, who was it? Somebody we called out yesterday. I left it. I was like 25th, and I left it open just in case they took it. I can't remember if they decided to take it or not. Or who it was. 25th open came back.
But I do go through a lot of, I'm on the border of what I can afford and how much medicine I need.
That hurdle sucks too. That getting set up. Because like when you're on the, you're on the border, just being able to get it, you have to come up with the extra to get started. But man, once you get started, it's so nice. So nice being able to produce your own medicine.
Why, you're not doing anything right now for yourself, Red Pill?
Not in the home I'm in right now, because this is where the bad shit got started. So I'm not gonna fucking. I already burned my hand once. I'm not gonna burn it again. You know? So. Now, with that
At
being
this
said,
point, man, some asshole that do that to you should have some bad karma coming their way, especially on a third time. Ugh, I'd hate to be around when that karma got that dude. That's bad juju right there. Because you obviously need the medicine. You know what I mean? What kind of low life would screw somebody out of medicine like that? That's the way I see it.
That's the only motive I could think of is the first thing that comes to mind is jealousy, right? Just a hater. Can't be anymore, or just straight out, the brainwashed mentality that people have about it. It's just it's like right up there with fucking terrorism. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hate learning lessons too late. Red Pill, I think it was you who said it the other night. All the old timers say, "Don't tell anyone."
Hell no, nothing, and not even like hint towards it. I mean, I'd be over that now if I could go back and change one thing. I would hint towards it. Not even just letting anyone know about it, but I would have kept the lowest of the low profile. I would have been doubling up on carbon filters. I would have been living like it's COVID back in fucking 2010.
That's why I coach everybody into growing. Oh, I'm hoping that once everybody's growing, that all that shit will stop.
It ain't gonna stop though, Eagle. That's the sad part.
And it's it's kind of what we're talking about though. I don't mind. I'm a full supporter in showing your garden. I've been showing my garden for fucking years, and I would be showing my garden more if it weren't for this. Like this kind of freaked me out a little bit. I'll be completely honest, man. And it's kind of like what we're talking about. It's the old mentality and not really wanting to tell anybody what you're doing. And then on top of that is it's daily, it's live. You can tell where I'm at, you know what I mean, in phases. Man, all you gotta do is put up one post and go, okay, you're there. You know what I mean? And kind of open yourself up for that. And like I kind of hinted about earlier, I don't know if you were on then, but I was talking about how observant viewers can be. I was talking about one cat called me out about my weights not being moved for a few days. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, it kind of, do I want to be showing what I'm doing every day in the background? So I kind of,
you tell them you put it back in the same spot. I put it back in the same
clammed
spot
up a little
when I get
bit.
done working out.
Yeah, that ain't happening. Everybody knows that ain't happening. You'd have to be just,
yeah, just a little. They don't know your house number and shit.
And even at that's when I do show things now. It's only usually one section throughout, start to finish. It isn't like the whole thing. It's usually just the 110. Usually, if I am showing something, it's usually just the one area for start to finish. That's usually how if I'm showing something. But for some reason, man, it just I weirded out a little bit about showing everything. For some reason, getting better.
One good thing though is if I get some raised beds going, I can show that all day. And at least you can see my green thumb. that way. It doesn't need, it can be pepper plants. You know, I can show you how to make a raised bed and how to make, how I would, like how you said, not the best way, but how I like to make super soil or amended soil. You get to see the results too.
Eagle, just have the shotgun in every picture, and the handgun on your hip or on your leg.
Yeah, the biggest no. Did you not hear anything from Red Pill story the other day? That's like the biggest no. You want
The
to
biggest
do right
no.
there.
You can't have no guns.
Yeah. That's the worst thing you can do is put the two of them fucking things together. Yeah, man.
Well,
I guarantee I go live and have a shotgun in here next to my plants. I won't be on
that'll be the last live.
The eagle has not landed.
You won't get robbed,
Yeah,
at least. Just arrested.
Yeah. I don't know which way it would be better. Both painful.
Yeah. Catch 22. All right, Eagle. I'm gonna get going, man. I'm fading now.
I still gotta do my shout outs. Man, the closest I can get now is, and I'm like screaming them like the micro mini guy now.
Yeah, you were doing fast last night, man.
And even at that,
get on a roll.
17 minutes. The best I've had lately is 16. I think it's now come kind of like a thing to time. I like it. Actually.
Do you have your shout outs per minute rated?
No.
Oh, that'd be a fun one to track. Do it.
I do. I haven't tracked it, but I have an average on per song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's usually at one page, front to back, 3 columns of names per sheet. So 9 columns of names. What's how many lines is there? 26 lines on a sheet of paper. So times 3. So that'd be like 78 names. So 78 times 2 would be 150, 156 names per song, basically.
The song's what, 3 minutes, 50 seconds? Do the math from there.
Roughly.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot, dude. I keep trying to make it better. I keep trying to get it at a quicker pace.
All right, Red Pill. All right, Eagle. I'm out of here. Eagle, you know, it's always a fucking awesome fucking talking shit with Eagle. And we'll catch you on the rebound.
Peace out.
Peace out,
man. Have a good one, man.
Yeah. You too.
Okie dokie. I'm out too. This was a really good chat. I enjoyed the discussion and how far we went into detail about it. It was a good episode.
Appreciate you. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Looking forward to seeing more of you, my friend.
Yep.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Yep. Shout outs to chat, and I'll see everyone later. Peace.
That does this episode of The Wormhole. Fucking talking shit with Eagle, The Wormhole 323.5. Holy shit. Every time, man, I say that, man, it's like the numbers are getting mind-boggling anymore. I really can't believe they're getting that high. And, you know, they would be way up there if I didn't slow them down with the 0.5s for the wormholes, the rabbit holes and the wormholes. It would be way up there. But I ain't going to cheat like that. No. I'm dragging it out. If anything. Let's see here what we got to get some shout outs to. Man, I gotta get some juice up in here, man. Always got coffee left at the shout outs, man. It's no good. Coffee is no good for the shout outs. Try to find something to ramble to. I do. Yeah, one thing, if you'll notice, I try. If you haven't caught it yet, depending on the music, I will almost go not rap, but I almost uh, say the names along with to the beat, match the pace of the music. Yeah, here we go. Started out with a little burner. Little burner. Get my chat back up. Sorry, look up, see what you guys are doing. Get some fresh drink on. I don't even know where the music's at. I must have it muted. I think I do. No, there it is. Here comes the copyrights. Thank you for that, martial artist. Thank you, K-Bag. You guys have a great day. Get these names, get these shout outs going. Sub Cool, we miss you, brother. Of course, DOA. Happy birthday, we miss you, DOA. Get them two right out the way. Our fallen brothers. It's good tune. These House Date, Mama Law 710, Scarecrow 420, Green Thumb Bum, Christina MG89, Unplugged 705, Medical McGullicuddy, Rick T the Rebel, the G 207, Fabian Salinas, Dave's Not Here, Tom Spook, Mendo Dope, Dung Beetle, Red Eye Jedi, Mother Nature's Justin Conway, Duckweed, Run Boy 7426, Justin Goodert, Strong Boy, Strong Man, not Strong Boy, Okie Grow 75, Corey Trevor, Michael Wallace, Mo Vision 420, Who's Your Cat Daddy, Taco, Don Slug, Rick S. in the Bushes 827, Jade Siemens, Kevin Hahn, World Let's Hope, Pat Bond, That's Fan 420, Bio Mentor, Dirt Road Dude, Kenneth Shiver, Jose Ramirez, Red Eye Rustler, Dab Goblin, Dr. Buzz Lightyear, S-Tone, 710 Canuck, Kenny Queen Genetics, Sabby Tanaze, Fuminor, Dirtman, Dan, Keith of Black Sales, Mr. Bocillus, Zen Premium Gardens, Ross Bob, Rasa Jeff, the EO crew, that is. So Root Small Tubes, Tyler, Frosty Buds, North Michigan, Micro, Ouija Buds, Dub T Roy, Big Jar Growth, JC, Modern Genetics, SoCal Weedner, John, Last PPJ 15, Green County Grower, CJ Apple, Perfectly Imperfected, Dollar Tree Grower. Thank you for that song. T1 Productions, thank Dank Grower. DOA Grow Meds again. We miss you, brother. Miss Snooty Grows. I Grew Some. Johnny Candace Suits. Nutrient Shootout. Snotty Nick. Exolian Slammer. NNY. Pixel Monkey. St. Bernard's Observation Booth. Clover 420. High Spy. Aldridge 25. Miss Madam T. Stu Moon. Mo Grower. Candy Crate. Loki Grows. Cast This Guy. Burton 79. 79. Polish Hammer. Midwest Outlaws 31. Voodoo Ultras. Fresno Nerds. Cali Connection, Wolverine Grower, Big Jar Grows, Jimmy One for Life, Laid Way Back Farmer, D Block, MMP Nations Creations. Boy, I didn't get out my quote on that one. Amber Lalana, Psychedelic Warlock, Artist LD, Sir Sicky Rob, Big Day 420, Brent Wendell, Big Ed 1961, Manawana G3, Green Click, J&K, Triple G, Mrs. Sprinkly, Mr. Sprinkly, Brittany and Tyler Teasley, Hope Farms, Lisa G, John, PG Crazy for You, BGWG 420, Dr. Budswell, From OG, hopefully all is well with you, Arthro, Sensibly, and of course Arthro, Just Face 420, Beast Coast Roar, 420, Sir How, Trade Alone, Keep It Real, Hagerton 420, Zeb Zeppelin, Audit Everywhere, BT, but Double E, Grows, Bingus, Green Puffin Man, Alex Boykachev, Chef Life, School of Crop, Cuz I Love It, Green Mountain Grower, Southwest Okie, Reels 100, 212, Andy Man, Miranda Family Farms, Page Farms, Meat All Flour, Ryan Henderson, Green 13, Noob Sailbot Wins, Kingdom Macropondex, Indra Medically Fit, Michigan native, Mary Jane's Men Garden, Dreamer 77, Double D, Bad Bunny, Nutrients, Green, Mr. Green Pops, Mr. Green Nugs, from 619-664, Spaniard Cougar, Jones in the Grove, Papa G Grows, Raz Amy, Dro Grows, Cass, Grow From Your Heart podcast with Ross and Jeff, Lucy, Linda, Lily, Luna. Yeah, that's right. Green Bed Black, Jeremiah, Miranda, Stony Creek, Lost Art, Mr. No One, Giant Creek, or Giant Mike, Prometheus, Soil. Boy, I'm fucking this all up. Jason ISO, P. Wynn, David Colby, Mason 662, Scroggy McScrogton the fourth, The Goddess Grows, Kaylee something, Burrows, it looks like, Chad Brad Farms, Polly P. V. Org, Eric Ferguson, Kevin Jodry, Mike Honcho, Jay Huggins, Joe D.A., Green Tree Hunter, Kush Cloud, Joshua Seathland, Organic Home Buds, Warren, Nelson Camwood, Maine Mystic, Show Love Always, Kelly Stone, Texas OG, Chuck Norris, Sarge S, Claire Fresno, Happy Guy, 311 Mix Up, Kinder Gross, Evergreen G's Friends, Tree MMJ, Matt S, Save Vault, Dragonfly B, Justin Cement, Travis Walls, Unlucky 19896. There we go. Justin or Eric Ferguson, Seattle Chronic Seeds, Kingdom Chronic, Titan from Blesco Seeds, Shango's Gas, Webasso for Life, John Smoke, John Smith, Tommy Trico, Spoke King Grass, Pop Little, Slow Roll, Spiky Pilot, Oscar Green Jr., Matt Sealbert, Indoor 11, Stephanie V, Sharp Pulley 989, Vine Braun, Sovereign Garden, Stoner Nations 420, Tiny Tricones again, Joe Y, Bugs 1. 313, Grower Painted Lady, Frank Booth, Jay Myers, to Mid, to Chat, Mr. Manny D, Bagseed, Dr. DGC Jeff, Shredder 911, Dutch Growth 420, Scallywag 420, Skillbo 1, Med Grower 1, Empire Breeding Co. for Growley, Lost Leaf, Liam Mass, Danny Danko, B Bear 7, Allie Noble, Tom Trinidad, C. Looney Jester, Smoking with Small Town, Tim S. Mr. Lazy, Raptor, Rose, Rob, Automation is Freedom, Rabbit, Hazelton, Door, Michigan, Corey, Double Tap, Mr. Green Thumb, 420, 808, Rooting Prospects, the Cannon Bus Driver, Hating Life, Kenny 710, Operation Grow, T-Ben, Rude Nuts, 619, Hammered E-Nails, Dr. Scramble, BB, Moonrocks, GHF, Double J, Bio Greens, Stealth Grower 56, Hanky Stakey 420, KP, Ganja Nana, Your Mama, Georgia Joe, Roy Rodriguez, Bee Growing, Nature's Best Nug, Killer Bee Grows, Ganja Wizard, Husky Gardens, Nut Tree 420, Dr. Ooh, Soil Life 420, Fully for Life, the Jeff Rowe 420, Beavis 698, the Dr. Franklin Booty, Goddamn I Baked Ted's Test, the Riffin' Fat Boy, Jack Greenstocks 420, 420, Boom Farms, Charlie Farm 420, Aldridge 25, Smiley's Gardens, JD's, Miss D's Nugs, Smoking Grow Fraser, Grokowski, Twisted Roots, Faded Farm 420, Jeff Dorowski, Genetic Memory, Farms Evolve 420, Cameron, Mr. Bagseed, Jill Carter, Mystic Marks, Mystic Grower TW, Ginger Snaps, DTE, Rose, Rick Wolf, DLP 2372, Ned Denver, Mike Denver, Sergeant Pepper 420, Cannon Trooper, Blind Cat 420. Light Up Again, Tim, UKSIF 420, Boot Boy, Jevin Shipwreck, Medical MJ, Budsville, USA, Resurrection Prophet, Chris Martinez, Dankman 420, Dankman, Dan, Red Center Farms, Good Life, Joni Bell, Chicha B, Most Hated Grower, Major General 420 Army, The American One, W Digger, 714, Shirates, Kineo, Synthetics, Mountain Skies, Ready to Hit That Hot Fire, Chris Mertz, Ian, Save Robbie, Sergeant Live, Epifay Cam, Finger Lakes Finest, Ridge Patch, Dozer Moon, Southern VT Grower, Choose Medical, Jared Blair, Plus One Medical, or Mushroom, Plus One Mushroom, Secret City, Pioneers, My Little Tent, 2042, Spacewalker, Christian Tree Mum, T. Barrington, Heart and Soul, Homegrow, Mike B, Dwayne, East Coast Will, Heidi Day, Galactic Garden, Sean Smith, Elliptus, My Natural Farms, Pacific Northwest Seeds, Ross, Kaya Paul, and Lemon Hoko, Trent Digger, Rita Susie Life, Richard Foyer 20, Grant Manuel, for Mary Band, Sammy Sizzle 81, 9 Inch Cocoas, Chris Moe, DK Trades, Vision Creator, Guru, Decine Brew, Canada Nation, Jay Wires, Dan the Indoor Man, Gromies, Homies, Hamilton Grows, Clip Smoke, Keystone Canada Flag, PA Pig, Big High 710, Eugene Greenleaf, Ace Drew Hustle, Fred Don Carlos, Norm Michigan, Beer Grove 420, No Sellout, Jesse White, Gastain Yeti, Introvert Genetic, Soso J, Vixen Robin, Mr. Killer 8 Mo, James Buttercream, C-Dub from NorCal, the Pharmacy Seed Bank Network, Deadhead, Smokey 616, Curtis Mayhem, Matt Myron, Morte, Rick Heyman, Stephanie Dorm, Antenna Seeds, Vicarious K, Mike Rubles, the Drew Bear 420, Maxi 751, Lawrence Gonzalez, Slow to Get Up, Stu Moo, Popco 719, Baked with Shake Baby, Old Smoke, PWC Grown Butts, Laura Wash, Mr. Weed Blunt, Old School Grower, Chad Westport, Honcho Grump, Flora Nugs, My Little Piece of Heaven, Pungent Sound Seeds, Goliath Grower, Richard T, Christy Wannabe, Mr. Sue, Food Spectrum, Gone God, Lori Hanson, Real 2,000 Years of Tradition, Mr. D. Conley, Pimp Jam McBodie Face, Show Me Sasquatch, Google, Fuck Google and You, I'm Going Whale, Canadian Restore, Poor Dirt Farmer, Carl Wright, Zephyr, Humble Farms, Trinity Farm, Seldom Scenes, Oak Park Gardens, Hell 9782, Skunky Palace, Martial Artist 2012, Micro Slave Hefner, Daniel McDizzle, Medically Fit Again, KJB, Robert, Mr. Green Fingers, Motherfucking Thomas, Rancho Costa Plenty, Monkey Balls, Andrew Champlin, Bobby Lynn Means, Trench Digger, Mr. Mac, Tony Like Blown and Bill S, Weed Piece, Tater Delicious, Minty, Country Roots, Huron Fire, Genetics, Earth Creeper, Big Ray 420, Teeny Weenie 101, Buds and Hazard, Mr. Club 14, Buds and Hazard, Bearded B-Man 616, Bearded B-Man Farm 616, no, Max Screwman Ruby will be here in a few days. Timothy McKimmons, Neo, Justin Beans, Chronic 88, Fat Belly, Real, Jennifer Steele was here tonight. Cannabis 03, Turk Farmer, Shannon McStevens, Carlitos Latinos, Gator Country Woo, Mr. Speed, Wolfstein, Firesoul, Wooly Wookie, there we go. Goddess Grows one more time, Rasta Bob, White Feather Grows, Burning Shrooms, Tone Gross Dink, I seen in chat. The K-Man Grows, BX Runner 81, Smith Dude, New Grows, Sean McCann, J Munch, Dank Agenda, Wawa, Canna Grow, Fall Dog, Huron Cannabis Council, Melissa Parish, Rock Fam, Justice Mick, 420 Ben, Fresh Grow, Thriving Herbs, High Boy, Your Mailman Grows, We Be Growing, Australian Grows, Love for the Plant, Argo American, Smart Poker, Unfrozen Caveman, Highest, The Surf Craft, Micro Goons, Chef Lowenfels, Mobius Grows, Dank D, Dandy, Dank Brownies, Elliot Harkins, Mystic Flavor, The Foraging Gardener, Overwater Overkill, Seattle Steve, Shadow Warrior, Valley Green 514, Million Jensen, Oz Indica, Dr. MJ Coco, Brandon Russ, Matthew Gates, D's Bags, Drone Star, Shotgun Willie, Dank Yoda, Jay Simmons, Sure Bro Grows, Clackamas Cook, DJ Conley, Aaron, The Grower, Light 1978, Michigan Grown Buds, Your Boy, Roy Boy, Delta 9, Jay McDaniels, Clackamas 420, Sinky Colas, Dylan Steinford, PFC Farms, Husky Garden, Sun Grown 707, J 8 Dro J420, Cascadian Grown, Tito's McGee, Four Plants 8, Weedworks, Captain Scrog, Skunky Buds, Hans Warrior, Janky Young, Terry Live, McGaster Tempe, Annie N, D Urge, Green Jr., Leon from All Purpose Plus, Green Goose, 11 Smiles 11, Bindus Buds, Rob Wobby, Sean Benz, Rescue Ready Roadside LLC, Notorious Nugs, Magma Seeds, White Feather, our Father and Son Trimming Tutorials, Dub T Dank, Jose Martin, Perez, Doggo the Hut 420, Chiba Man GR 420, Community Videos, CMO, shout out to you, Detroit River Rat, Luis Garcias, Michael P, AJ Everyday, a Captive Audit, Cheddar Bob 13, Maine 420, Med Grower, Cookies, Coop J, Kendricks, In for the Grill, Backwoods All Good, Seattle, Sally Mansell, Adam, Chanel Simpsons, Ganjo, Roach, Kazoo, Aaron Burnett Shrooms, Mr. Lincoln Stinkin, Angel Studios MG, and the 420 Community, the 420 Grow Tent, Paul D. Elliott. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, I need that neck crack. John Fleming, Dankovitz, Chemo F Side, Fibro, Flower, Polly P, Seldom Seen, Elevated, Lenny, Organic, Sunny, Man, Chiba, Sunny, Jeff Popalik, Ricardo Sosa, Dan J, Earth Friendly Farming, Candy Forest Farmer, Fuck All That B, Misfit Grower, Jason Line 512, Snake Eyes, Northern 4466, Jason Greystone, Stony Baker MD, Stony Creek, Russ Zion, Fringe Dweller, Tarzan, Superman, Old Man, Hermit Hash, Freebird, Mo Grower, Manigar, Simple Man, Survival Time, Tim Blake, Golf Close, Seeds, Stink Fat, Chemo Sky, Dankovich, I got you twice, Caballero, Harley Grower, Jen God, Steve Collins, Todd Kendricks, Property Maintenance, Sharpie, The Island, Hayes, Scuba Steve Speaks, J.R. Ream, Farming, Randy K, Steve Collins, TCDR, Missing You Brothers, Claire Killian, Wardrobe Farming, Randy Grande, Piff 1000, Ace Boog 3223, Wake Up, Captain Freedom Bee, Puffer Smiles, 15 digits, Mr. Ganja Mook, Hash, Fred G, Super Bob. Holy cow, man, this mouth is dry. Oh. Broski 808, Weekend at Bernie's, K-Bag, Justin Station, Strong, Style, Organic, Zippy, iMedic 31, Honesty, K-Hell Little, Brent Bogue, Kendrick Newton's KNT, Chris D, True Serum, 4x4, Nanny Dread, Barbara Matthews, Soul, Ancient Soul, Grown, Kevin Jiu-Jitsu, Canada Health and Happiness, Berserk 220, let's try that one more time, Berserk 215, Collab, Low Cut, Albert Trombley, Mo Maniac, Meds, Raz Banshee, wow. Just give it up already, I should. Helen, Hugh Janus, James T, Atomic Spoon, Miss Jill, Big Daddy, LT Gardens, High Flyer 420, Lobster Brush Bro, Mother Tree Maine, Red Pill 710, of course, your boy Roy Boy, Ecstatic, Shannon Gibbons, Ruhan, Rick W, Comfortably Numb, One Smoke Away, the 840 Show, Richard Lamb, Cannabis Pursuit, K Rolling, Buzzworthy, Logan Man 81, Flower Paisley, Bill Flower Paisley, is that right? Bill 8 Flower Paisley, that don't even sound right. To Entourage Effects, Warren Dixon, Pink Lady Luck, El Mondo 420, and last but not least, our friend Weedus 207. Can't forget Weedus 207. What's up, Rasta Bob? Man, I wish you'd get up a little bit earlier, man. Not that you don't knock out a full day's work. I am sure one hard working dude. I just miss you, brother. I'd like for you to pop in and say good morning one of these days or good evening. It is always a pleasure. Much respect to you, Rasta Bob. Much respect to Bob on the job. Hope to see you when you come to Michigan, my friend. Spring's a coming. It's warming up. Holding you to that word. Gets warm. I hope to see Rasta Bob here in Michigan. You guys know the deal. If this is the end of your journey for the day, get some rest. This is the beginning of your day. Please go out and make it a prosperous day. It's Sunday. Get some rest. Kick back, enjoy the family. Make it a great day. But try, most importantly, to do something nice for somebody. Your friend, your neighbor, your family member. So easy to do. Can I open the door? Can I get that? You look nice. Is that a new shirt? You want to smoke a joint? Do you need some mud? Do you need a hand with that? So many things that won't cost you a motherfucking dime that makes somebody's day you never even know could change their life. It's called random acts of kindness, and they do save lives. Firm believer in it. That does it for this episode 323.5, the wormhole. Thank you for everybody that participated tonight. Cass, L. Cheers to you. Good morning. Well, that does it for this episode. What is it? Oh, don't forget to miss out. Tonight's episode is already pre-locked and loaded. DOA's episode 127, when he was introduced properly to this community as a great person that he was. Come hang out with me. I will be in chat during the episode, and then I am on the fence whether or not I'm going to rerun the rabbit hole or the wormhole, DOA wormhole, or if I'm just going to go with live wormhole. Actually, if you put them all together, there's still enough for all three. I have to do the math and see what's going to happen there. But nonetheless, there will be a live wormhole tonight. I'm just want to pay as much respect as I can to DOA. So do join us tonight at 11:30 with the re-airing of his episode tonight at 11:30. Episode 127, DOA, Grown Meds. Anthony, we miss you, brother. That being said, have a great day. I am out of here.